show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for supporting the TriCast.
Without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the DetroitCast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jerry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the DetroitCast with Mike and Jay. Biggie is here. Mickey is here. Ah, Poos is there. The Poos. Look at the Poos. Look at that Proops. Look at the Proops. How are you, pal?
I'm great. I mean, that website launch went flawlessly. I was really happy to see that.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier. What a fucking shit morning that was.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing worse than waking up. Anytime you what's that?
Was that just? I thought that was just gonna end at waking up, but
yeah, it could have. That's true. Anytime I wake up, it's like, God damn it!
What am I thinking?
God damn it! It happened again.
Why?
When is this gonna stop? This whole waking up. I just went to bed.
Right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Asshole.
But if I have to wake up,
I'm sorry.
it sucks even more when you wake up and have 40 messages. That's the worst. Because I mean, I don't know what time you guys went to bed, but I went to bed after 2. And woke up at, 8. And all of a sudden it was like, and it didn't, I don't know why it didn't even cross my mind that something could go wrong, because we launched it on Friday to little fanfare, but I wasn't thinking that, for whatever dumb reason, I wasn't realizing that, we haven't officially launched an episode on this new website yet. I was kind of lumping Friday into it. So it never even dawned on me that was possible.
Yeah, that sucked. Thank you, every single person, for pointing out that our website was not working properly. We appreciate the heads up.
You know me, Jay, half glass half full.
Yeah, you are definitely
optimistic fella. I think it's better that people responded like that, because it means they were upset by it.
That's a good point.
Then if it would have been crickets, that would have been worse.
Yeah. And then we find out like 2 weeks later, nothing is posted. You're right. It was better to find out on a Monday morning.
2 weeks.
We got them just jammed up in a log jam in the ether somewhere. No, dude, it sucked. But honestly, God, thank you to Eric Ellenbrook.
Yeah.
Who I'll talk about a little bit more in a second. Thanks to Mickey, fucking huge.
Yeah,
dropped
Mickey,
everything. I know
Mickey
how it is
came
to be
huge.
at work and you're doing your fucking work, and then you're pulled into some personal thing or some friend needs help or whatever. And it's like, well, shit, I'll help you. But it sucks, right? On a Monday morning, especially. So huge props to Mickey. That was huge. But Eric Ellenbrook is the dude. If you like what you like about the site, Eric did.
Yeah.
Okay. A brief history of this thing. Eric contacted me in November and was like, yeah, dude, I'm a listener and I just need to tell you this. Your website sucks.
Yeah. And
like,
we knew that.
I know. We've got plans to upgrade it and all this. And he's like, well, if you ever need help, I'd be happy to help you. And I was kind of like, oh, we're set, but thank you. So shit happened. And I went back to him and was like, yeah, Eric, before you mentioned.
Does that offer still stand?
Yeah. And he fucking dove in. Absolutely, dude, I'll help. And he spent a ton of time and back and forth with us, met with us several times,
phone conversations,
made sure everything was exactly like we wanted it. And he did a ton of work on it.
Yeah.
And so bottom line is, if anybody out there needs web development work, we will have something on our site concerning his contact. But before that, call me or email me and I'll put you in contact with him, because I highly recommend him. The dude bent over backward today. And Mickey, you can attest this. I mean, spent hours.
And I worked with him today. He's a beast.
Yeah.
And anybody that needs anything with web design, he's your guy.
And the problem with design people, no offense, Mickey, no offense, Eric Ellenbrook,
they're all fucking geeks.
They're geeks on a different level, though, because there's this air of, we got this shit.
It's arrogance.
There's arrogance. They know shit that you don't know. And so it gets very frustrating when you're trying to work and explain what you're trying to do. And it's like taken for granted that everybody gets this thing. Eric Ellenbrook was the opposite for us, where he understood our limitations and was able to go, guys, you do whatever you want. Here's my input. Here's what I'm thinking. I know what you're going for. Here's how it's going to look. Here's how it will lay out. It was extremely helpful to have someone like that, really on point, available to build the site.
Like I said, he did. If you like it on our website, he did it. What happened was of no fault of his own. And in fact, it was an issue completely on our end that made it impossible for him to finish the thing. He ended up with the thing about 85% done and was like, can't move forward with it.
Yeah.
And so we had to involve somebody else, which was the disconnect in the process that happened this morning.
So for all the smart
we
asses now that are going, oh yeah, you're selling this guy on the website, it fucking crashed this morning. It had nothing to do with him.
He had it going.
Or Mickey or K-Dog or Big E. I know everyone wants to blame Big E for everything.
You know what? That's fucking hilarious how credit gets assigned or not assigned in messages. I mean, it's almost hilariously ironic sometimes when I see some of these posts.
Yeah.
Because I know some of that's tongue in cheek. Oh, Mickey's a fuckhead. K-Dog's an asshole. K-Dog is an asshole.
He is, absolutely.
E is what he is for sure. Rip the fuck out of him. That's all true. But dude, if it weren't for these guys, this shit wouldn't be going right now.
No.
Bottom line.
And it could have been a while before it was going. The fact is, when we got on it this morning, it was probably 8:30 before we really got even phone calls rolling, just because we all ended so late. It was, but anyway, when I got on the phone with Mickey and I talked to Mickey throughout the day numerous times, he was on the phone with Eric. Like I would call him and interrupt. He would be on the phone with Eric and they were just going on a checklist. Bang, bang, done. Got it. And in a handful of hours got that thing going. And it was the funny, what you're talking about, the assigning blame where it was like, fucking Mickey fucked this up.
Yeah, or how about this? Somebody else could have done it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious to me. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. It was discouraging. Not discouraging, because I think you're right that it was more tongue in cheek than anything with people. But
it totally 90% of it is. I get it. We love when people bust balls, but some of it wasn't. And that kind of I took personal a little bit. And,
well, because we know people have to at some point take a little bit that there are things that go on here that Jay and I are aware of, and on top of that nobody else is aware of and has any clue about. So none of the decisions are made lightly. None of the decisions are made without thought. We're not just floating along with this. I know, a morning like this makes it seem like what kind of fucking operation is that? But really, we're working hard to make this big time pro. And, I said a lot on the post on the message board about some of those things. And just to give people an idea who don't go to the message board about what it's like here on a day-to-day basis. The fact is, Jay, your day starts at, 6 a.m. most days, and it goes until the minute you walk in the door, sometimes as late as 8:30 or 9 o'clock, which is, you've gone straight from this thing to this thing to this thing to over here, and you're done. You're dead at the end of the day. Mickey's full-time gig somewhere. I mean, everybody's doing other shit full-time and coming over here. So it's not, people have this idea that, hey, this is a show. Why aren't you guys doing calls? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Well, yeah, we'd love nothing more than to be able to meet up here every afternoon and make 3 hours of call. I mean,
and every time we have a call, if it's a recorded call, that's what we've done.
Yeah.
We've fucking
arrange schedules
or something.
Jay, can you be here Tuesday at noon? That's the only time they can do this interview if we want to do it. And it's like, well, let me see if I can move some things around and see if I can make that work. And so something else in his life gets pushed aside. So we're able to do that. It's not like Jay lives 2 minutes down the road either. I mean, it's a miracle that this show goes on every night. Let's just say that. We'll just leave it at that. It's a miracle that this show with this group of people are able to come over here every night and do this. And the website, without Mickey, without Eric today, would be
Eric
down.
Ellenbrook.
Eric Ellenbrook, yeah.
Just to be clear.
Not
Trust
Big E.
me, I would never take credit
Just to be
for that.
clear.
Let's be very crystal clear about it. Those shows would not be on iTunes, and those shows would not be up there. And whatever tweaks happen going forward will be on the backs of these guys, and we can't thank them enough. And they're working their asses off to get it done properly. So,
So a couple other things, just specifically about the website. We plan to add a lot of content. We wanted to get it up so that we can get rolling with some advertising here in the near future.
Mhm.
And that was another thing. I know people have been asking, well, what about, this? Because we had talked about commercials and such. But we wanted to have the website in order before we push people to that, because that's our product. I mean, people go see that and they see a shit website and they go, all right, this is Bush League.
Yeah.
So we wanted something professionally done. And so now we're going to I'm not talking about tomorrow rolling out commercials and shit, but that
you and
shit'll be coming.
you and I have had the meetings.
Yeah,
you and I have met with.
It's all set.
We've met with numerous people and laid out everything as far as commercial work, and so those things are sitting. And Jay and I have literally backburnered them just while we were finishing up this site. So things will move a lot faster now.
Yep,
with a lot of that
and
stuff.
the point is, we'll be adding to the website a lot. So you just see one picture gallery right there. There's going to be tons more. There was tons more, but
there were at one point about 15 galleries in there with multiple photo shoots. We should give Randy a plug.
Yeah, Randy Wilcox.
Randy Wilcox, who is the photographer, the only photographer the Detroit Cast uses. He's done all our photo shoots downtown. He's done our photo shoots in studio. He's an amazing photographer. You can find him on Facebook, Randy Wilcox. He also went by Detroit Funk for a long time. And if anyone's looking for a photographer, he's done some great work for sure.
He's
for us.
not looking for like wedding video shit.
No,
he's
an artist.
Yeah, he is.
He's an artist, and he's great. He really is. So there's plenty of people to thank. But anyway, there are more photo galleries, kid photos, all that shit.
Lots of stuff that we're going to be adding to that. But one thing we want to talk about is real quick is the Amazon tab. If anybody out there shops on Amazon like we do every day, I literally like peanut butter will come in the mail.
Really? The King's peanut butter is ordered?
Peanut butter comes to my doorstep.
Yeah, dude.
We order everything. It's funny, man. You open up these Amazon boxes, they'll be like a coloring book for the sweet pie.
Really?
Some peanut butter and I don't know, like some pens or something.
Dude,
like
yeah.
that. It's just an eclectic mix of shit that we.
Chubbs orders he'll order freaking snacks off Amazon. Like I'm talking like gummy bears or some shit off Amazon.
Yeah, so we've got an Amazon tab on there, and the deal is if you just go through our portal, just to do your normal shopping, please use that.
It doesn't charge you anymore.
Exactly, but they give back 1% to us because we've kind of introduced the portal to you. So again, if that's what you do already, you use Amazon, please enter through our portal. Just go to DetroitCast.com. Help us out a lot. It's another way to kind of donate to the show in a way.
Yeah. Do they have to when you click on this, is that just enough, or do they have to type in a code?
No, that's it. You click on that, and it knows it's coming from the Detroit Cast website, and it gives us credit for that.
Yeah, and perfect. You do what you do.
So it's a way for people that are like, oh, I wish I could donate to the show. I wish I could do more. We get a ton of people that say that, oh, as soon as I get on my feet, but people are still doing their essentials through Amazon.
Yep.
There's a way right there.
And it's only going to get bigger when they start the drone delivery.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. Which they are doing in some areas. The donate button is back up. Those were missing earlier, but they're on the site as well. The other thing we should mention about the site is the show samples. And E did a couple more of them today. I'll be doing some as well. And I think we've got 10 or 12 of them up there.
Yeah, we've got
now.
What do? And Tim Thivierge.
Tim Thivierge. Cumberbatch. The discussion we had on Cumberbatch when he said colored people.
That's right.
That is in one.
I forgot about
that. Yeah, so the idea of these, and they really should be entitled show highlights. That'll be changed. But basically, it's going to be a real quick way that you can share the show. We talked about this before a little bit. Like if you've got friends that you want to share it with, but it's kind of cumbersome or asking a lot for them to download a whole episode and kind of start from the beginning of one. These just give an idea of what the show's about, and it might get them interested and go, that's cool, man. I'll check out another show.
Start that one at the beginning, that Benedict Cumberbatch. Just to give you an example, it instead of, like Jay said, going through the whole intro of the show and having a 2-hour long blah, 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 they're like anywhere from 3 to 7, 8 minutes long, each one of these clips. Go ahead and start it over. Start it at the very beginning. Benedict Cumberbatch.
In case you missed it, here's a piece of what happened on the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Well, he's apologized strongly.
It was
pernicious. So it just goes, there's a tiny little intro and then boom, right into a bit. So, and these are very shareable. You can take that clip and go, oh, I think my buddy John would dig this. And then you can send it to him on Facebook. You can tweet it out, whatever you want. And we're hoping that people will do that. Take these little clips and we're going to keep adding them as we go, just as little, self-contained, moments of the show. The thing with those is I hated doing the promo at the Drew and Mike show. We would do the promo and Clark and I would do these where we would go in the studio and I would write an intro for him, and then I would take a 20-minute conversation and have to make it fit into a 60-second clip. And it was brutal.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It was brutal. And so he would do an intro and an outro, and then there would be this 60-second clip in there where it didn't do justice to the bit. You're murdering this bit to make it fit into a 45-second to a minute-long window for the purposes of being able to run on the station throughout the day.
You said you and Clark did those?
Yeah, Clark and I would do those. But for these, it was like, no, I don't want to do that. They can share 4-minute-long clips.
Yeah,
fuck it. I don't want to butcher
reproduce it. Yeah.
And it's not even about taking the time to reproduce it. I just don't want to butcher the content. It's like there is such, I think,
most of these were just discussions, right?
Yeah, that have a point and a punchline or a what dude do is hilarious. They're not like thing with that.
They're not necessarily like news story pieces, but they're just pieces of discussion that went somewhere that turned out kind of funny.
That we thought was funny. And if there are things that people think we should add to them, let us know. I mean, we're kind of going through our archives and just like, oh yeah, that was a funny moment. Let's grab that one.
Yeah.
But I think there are subtleties in content. Like if you take a clip and it's a 5-minute conversation, there are moments, Jay, that I think the funniest part is us trying not to laugh and keep a straight face in something. And that can be a few seconds long that would absolutely be deleted in a best of clip.
Right.
If you're trying to make it fit into a minute-long promo, you would never have those uncomfortable silence moments where I leave all those in there. I instruct E to leave all those in there and just let the bit play as it did. So I think they're kind of neat, and there's going to be a lot more added as we go.
I was just going to say about those. I think the thing is, when I was talking to Steve one time about them, is like, on our show, because we don't have a clock, we're not running by the clock, we're not doing bits, we don't have a song coming up.
Yeah.
Sometimes those moments maybe are a little longer, which would make it even harder to cut it down into a minute necessarily.
Yeah.
Because we're not looking and saying like, God, we got to be moving on to the whatever.
It's the quarter hour. We need to do our top of the hour ID.
So not having a limitation on those. And none of them are going to be 15 to 20 minutes. Like you said, they're going to be fairly short.
Yeah, because people, I think we mentioned this once before, and people are like, oh, you got to put the clown call in there. It's like, nah, this is not the thing for a 35-minute Ojibwe.
Masturbatory practices of the Ojibwe.
My cat.
My cat, right. Those are some funny moments.
Who's my cat?
No, my cat.
Yeah.
I see.
Hey, one last thing I want to mention about the website, then we'll get to the show.
Yeah, dare I say.
Yeah, the archives. We know all the archives aren't exactly in the form that they need to be right now. They're in the database, and we're going to be working to brush them up and make them so that they all fit. So if you're looking for like episode 115 or something, you might have to wait a little bit. Where do we go back? A couple months at least?
Yeah, I think it's back to like March right now. But if anybody wants to check back right now and it's not on our website, if they go on the iTunes app, it'll be there. So if you go on the podcast app for Apple or whatever podcasting app you want, it's all still totally there.
Okay, but we're working to put those all in the right format, and eventually they'll be there.
That's it has to be done by hand.
It's got to all be done by hand. The format is different. The formatting of them is different so that they fit on all screens. So if you've got mobile devices, so we had to it gets technical and it gets over our head, but that's why it's got to all be done manually. And I know before you write us and go, no, there's a way to do it all at once. We know, everybody knows, but that's the way it's got to be done. And so it's, like you said, like Jay said, we've gone back a couple months. Those are all there. And I think that's about it, right?
That's it. I mean, point is we'll be adding a lot to it as we go, and we'll mention things as we go.
Yeah. Anyway, dare I say, a big show today, Jay. Got a lot to get to. Maybe we'll do an Ask Eric segment later on. E, you up for that?
Ugh, absolutely is. That son of a bitch.
Just kidding.
We
got a 50 Shades of Grey thing that went on that I absolutely love. I love it. Hero.
He's thinking out of the box.
Absolutely. And he's getting some box too.
Oh,
like that. Yeah. We'll get to that in a little bit. We got to.
Mike likes puns more than he'll let on. More than he'll let on.
I don't want credit for the puns.
Nerdy. They're very nerdy. But
I would let the puns go. E always points them out, as you've mentioned before. I don't want anything for the puns. I just gingerly loft them out there.
You know what though?
But you make them, right? I mean, it's maybe once a year that I'll make a pun. Every couple shows
it's more
you'll
than
make
once
a pun.
a year for you.
And the problem is, as you know, with me, I don't have that ability. I don't sit there and let things go by. I just have the initial reaction.
I thought he was going to say, I don't have the ability to make a pun.
No. I can do that. I don't have the ability to let. So my initial reaction to your puns is just usually like,
yeah, it's like a retard sitting at the zoo going,
Right.
oh, look at the time.
Exactly.
Like you have to point it out like, hey, that was a pun. I got it.
right.
It's like, yeah, so did everybody else. You're never gonna let it go. So whatever. We got a bodybuilder looking good.
Oh
man.
yeah, he looks
looking
great.
good. Update on the Django actress. Remember her?
Daddy.
I pulled that out of the astronomy file, guys.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, sure you did. An update on that NYPD cop that was shot. Update on the Detroit cop that shot, or the federal agent that killed the kid. Baltimore could launch again. I don't know. We'll see. More on a story we mentioned last night, as it broke last night while we were doing the show, is the attack in Texas.
Right.
At the
right.
free speech rally going on. They were
The Muhammad cartoon contest.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah. Well, a former terror suspect has been named as one of the gunmen shot dead by police after two attackers blasted an unarmed security guard in the ankle during an anti-Islam art contest. I don't know if it's anti-Islam, but it was an art contest in Texas. Elton Simpson is his name. I wasn't thinking Elton Simpson was going to be his name. I got to be honest with you. Elton Simpson seemed a little weird, but whatever.
He's Simpson?
Elton Simpson, yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer for me.
He's 30 years old, previously the subject of a terror investigation, and his roommate, Nadir Sufi.
That's more like
better.
it.
Yeah, that sounds better. Now we're on the same page. He's 34. They were armed with assault rifles when they were killed by a quick-thinking traffic officer after opening fire outside the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas. The shooting unfolded as the American Freedom Defense Initiative held an event inside the building where caricatures of the Prophet Muhammad were drawn. Simpson, ID'd in court papers as an American Muslim, had been convicted of lying to federal agents about his plans to travel to Somalia 5 years ago. A judge ultimately ruled it could not be proved that he was heading there to join the terror group. Monday, FBI agents were seen rummaging through their apartment and car and all that shit. They took computer stuff.
Now, what would have happened had they, as you've been lobbying for, chipped him?
Yeah,
back when he was caught before. Oh wait, where's he going? Oh, he's headed for the Muhammad thing. He's carrying a AK-47,
an assault rifle. Well, boom. Oh, I'm sorry. Part of the agreement is that you're not allowed to leave the house at any point with an assault rifle. Boom. You can have that assault rifle in your house at any point if you want to take it upon yourself to eliminate yourself. Feel free. But as soon as you exit the house doors with the chip going off, just imagine, we've got eyes on you, and boom! Ooh, I'm sorry. But they might as well have been chipped because these were some bumbling terrorists. They went into this place with assault rifles, 2 of them, and one cop with a service revolver went boom, boom, bye-bye.
They're in Texas,
bye-bye,
man.
assholes. They were not fucking around, and these guys shot a cop in the ankle or a security guard in the ankle. 2, Allahu Akbar.
Way to go, assholes. Seriously, that's embarrassing. I bet nobody's even like claiming responsibility for it. Wait for the next one.
This one, yeah. Stay clear of this guy. Ooh, geez, nice job, guys. You went in with assault rifles and one cop with a fucking service revolver. Ended both of you.
No other injuries, guys? Really? Really?
You couldn't break the first line of defense with assault rifles? Really? Simpson's father, by the way.
Any property damage?
I
Anything?
hate that it's Simpson is the last name. It bums me out.
Why? Because you like the TV show,
Yes.
a cartoon TV show?
Yes, it bums me out.
Dude, you are such an asshole.
I
That
agree.
didn't even like. I'm like, why is he so bummed? Simpson, whatever.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Simpson. You are such a fucking tool.
it puts the show in a bad light.
You love calling E a tool or a tool bag.
Simpsons just
Do
got
I
re
have
up
not
for
noticed that?
2
Is
more
that-
seasons, by the way, they say.
Yeah, you do that.
Is that common?
Yeah, I love it. That's why I laugh out loud because when you get discouraged with him, you just go, you are such a tool bag.
Did you hear that, Jay?
Kind of fits.
Simpsons just got re-up today, by the way, 2 years.
You are such a fucking tool bag. You gonna click? Click. Come on.
I can't click on command.
Come on, Bushman.
Would you please clean the lettuce out of your teeth? You're
Where?
annoying me.
God.
Where?
Look at those perfect, that
Fancy
perfect
grill.
grill.
Where?
Somehow,
Show Jay.
some way, he's kept a perfect grill all these years of being an asshole. Nobody's clocked him in the mouth.
Which one of those two, if you had to chip one of them?
I'm gonna go with the guy on the right.
Yeah, me too. I believe that's not Simpson.
Go in the traditional Islamic garb.
Yeah, the
That individual.
what looks like an 1800s nightie.
Yeah. A
Just needs
nightshirt.
The nightshirt, yeah. The full dress nightshirt.
Yeah.
He needs a candle. He needs
Right.
the handled candle.
Yeah, and he needs the pointy nightcap.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
And then he's off and running. Are you tuckered out? Is it time for nighty-nighty? Is it time for nighty-nighty, Amir? Cop put you to nighty-nighty, did he? Boom! Yeah, on Monday, Simpson's father said he believes his son just made a bad choice, Jay.
Oh,
His son just made a bad choice.
we've all made mistakes. No
we've all
one's
been
perfect.
there. Yeah, we've all been there.
No one's perfect.
I don't know if bad choice is the right word. I mean, terrible shot, maybe. You could say my son is a terrible shot.
Those in glass houses don't throw stones, righty?
Exactly, Jay. That's what I thought.
We are Americans and we believe in America, Dunstan Simpson said.
Jay hates me.
He should. So do I.
Jay fucking
The whole
hates
room
me.
does. You kidding me? Everyone listening hates
I
you.
know.
The whole audience, everybody.
Does anybody
This
like
is not exclusive to Jay. Jay just speaks. He represents the class. He's like the
such a weird?
he's like the elected council member for all of Detroit
The
Cast World.
conscience of the group.
I think it's funny that I'm on a show that no one likes me. So no one here likes me and no one likes me, but I just show up every day, I guess. It's just I haven't been I'm like Milton on fucking The Office or whatever, right? Like he was fired 2 years ago, but no one told him. So
Is that The Office or Office Space?
Office Space. Sorry. Sorry.
Good call.
Sorry.
Yeah, Councilman Detroit Cast here speaks for the whole community.
I think the Poos likes your sandwiches.
That's
Yep.
true. The
Yeah.
Poos does like any food I bring over.
That's about it.
Poos.
Look at that. Look at that Poos. Look at that Poos.
Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Look at that poops. Don't hug the
That
poops.
was the lamest hug I've ever seen.
Even
dude.
the Poos doesn't walk away from hugs. Poos walked away from that hug.
Poos pulled out quickly.
We are Americans. We believe in America. What my son did reflects very badly on my family. True. That's true.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Several Twitter messages were sent out. Authorities believe Simpson was behind them. The last one was
I
shared.
need to leave for the. Maybe I should leave for this article.
Yeah, you need to recuse yourself from the article. He's clicking.
He's clicking. Fucking Bushman.
You do such a good Simpson.
Is that Burns? Simpson?
Yes. Yeah.
As you were.
I'm not a baby who needs a nursemaid to burp me. What's the meaning of this slacking off?
Can't stand much more of your numbskullery.
Oh
The
my God.
world's most devious assassin.
I've got fucking tears.
Well, so they sent out these tweets ahead of the attack. So they even warned, this is like a bad Bond movie where the bad guy's going to tell you what he's going to do before he does it. Like, or not a Bond movie, every bad movie where they tell you exactly what they're going to do. Followers of ISIS had been calling for an attack online for more than a week after learning about this competition in Garland. And the prize was 10 grand for this Muhammad art contest.
I can't believe they did this, to be honest with you.
In a series of tweets linked to Junaid Hussein, they claim that 2 of our brothers just opened fire at the Prophet Muhammad exhibition in Texas. Wonder if they're still claiming that.
Yeah. Mistake. They were
Yeah.
distant cousins, not real brothers.
Yeah. Like 9th cousin removed.
Yeah.
They thought they was safe in Texas from the soldiers of the Islamic State. Yeah, they were. Took was 1 cop and a service revolver.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck around in Texas, man.
Yeah, Texas is not the place to go Rambo. They don't fuck around. You're right. He had posted a message earlier that said, "The bro with me and myself have given a oath to al-Baghdadi. May Allah accept us as mujahideen." Hashtag Texas attack.
Oh,
He was trying to trend with his terrorist attack. What an asshole. Hashtag Texas attack. What a dick. Boom.
yeah, that's wow.
Oh, God. The contest was just minutes from ending. The two suspects had pulled up in a vehicle before getting out and firing at this security officer, 57-year-old Bruce Joyner.
Really?
Wow, dude.
Bruce Joyner.
The story's ridiculous.
It is. The guy's name was Bruce Joyner that took one on the ankle. Wow.
The ankle, dude. I mean,
Was it a male or female?
Bruce Joyner. Yeah, good question. I don't know.
I don't.
it shot them both.
Click, click, click.
Sorry.
Elton Simpson, by the way, Simpson was well known to the FBI.
I can't help it.
In 2010, he was in, I don't know, I mentioned earlier the judge said, we just don't have enough. We just don't, I mean, that guy could walk into the courtroom and I'd go, enough. We have enough. Yeah. No. Chip him or jail, your choice, my man. But this judge apparently didn't have enough. Court documents said, because they'd recorded this guy in conversations. They had an FBI informant, and he recorded these conversations about their intentions to fight for the Muslim way of life.
What?
Mr. Simpson said that the reward is high because if you get shot or you get killed, it's heaven straight away. Heaven, that's what we here for. So why not take that route?
Next.
Yep. He added that in countries such as Palestine, Iraq, and Somalia, they try to bring democracy over there, man. They're trying to make them live by man-made laws, not by Allah's laws. You try to make us become slaves to man. No, we slave to Allah. We're gonna fight you to the death. It's time. I'm telling you, man. We're gonna make it to the battlefield. It's time to roll.
I can't take much more of your blundering numbskullery.
Good. I don't think he would have done well on the battlefield, seeing as he went up against one cop who didn't know he was coming.
Oh, is my face red?
It should be. Simpson. Simpson.
You're doing really good, Simpson.
As the gunmen got out of their car, their weapons, one police officer shot both men dead. Oh, I fucking love it. I like to think that with very little training, or even like, how do you put the clip in this thing? Like you and I could go
Just be
somewhere,
able to mow down a single cop, right? Who's not ready for this?
who's like, he's there for a reason because he knew this was going to be a tense situation.
But he's not really ready, right?
Nobody's really ready.
Yeah.
You don't think that's going to happen. You think it could happen somewhere else. You've heard the stories, but really, do you think some guy's going to roll up on you with machine guns? And I like to think that you and I could roll up on anybody
At least take out one and cause some property damage.
Absolutely. Shatter a few windows, something.
Yeah.
At least break the first line of defense. Maybe get into the building.
Nothing.
These guys barely got out of their car, and then they were left to lay there for hours.
That's awesome, dude.
Maybe
That is really
leg,
awesome.
maybe a leg sweep, Jay, huh?
I like how he did the hand to the side.
Yeah,
that was
just for you.
a secret just for me.
Yeah.
Maybe a leg sweep, Jay.
Do you think the cops were standing there like, what do we got rolling up
Yeah,
here?
what do we got?
Oh,
What do we got?
no.
No fucking way. Are you kidding me?
Seriously? They're going to try? No.
All right.
No, stand down. I got this. Excuse me, fellas. Ooh, I'm sorry.
Mm.
That was it? The guy's probably barely got smoke coming out of the revolver
Got any
barrel.
friends coming
It's like,
behind you? No,
that was whew,
okay.
boy.
Huh.
Glad they hired 20 of us. Sorry, guys. Sorry to waste your evening. I mean, feel free to grab some refreshments in the lobby, but this is kind of a waste of everybody's. I got this shit.
Refreshments in the lobby.
Boy, I thought they were going to pack a higher punch than that. Who knew? Simpson. and then they took a little robot and how fun would this be? You not only did you mow down a couple bad,
The robot like molested him.
the robot went over
He
and
takes some liberties.
and then they're like, folks, don't be alarmed. This might make a little bit of noise over here. We've got a little robot going to check this vehicle out. Boom! They fucking blew this car to shit. Don't be alarmed. This will just take a second. We'll be out of your hair. Back to your refreshments. Boom!
Awesome.
Ooh, yeah, and there was nothing in the car. So, yeah, great news.
Pretty much took care of that.
Yeah. What do you think, by the way, on that idea? Because I'm hearing all kinds of apologists coming out already. Like, you didn't have to egg this on. You know, I know free speech is really, really important, but
No, all they did was they lured them out of their lair, right?
yeah,
They
that's
lured
true.
them out
That's
with
true.
a Muhammad cartoon contest.
That's a good point. You
So,
could
hey,
do that.
news.
took care of the neighborhood terrorists there.
Mhm.
They know they're clean.
That's
every community ought to consider this.
It's kind of like a Pied Piper situation, right, Jay?
That's righty.
The guy that that was on that was part of that thing. There was a chick who's on like a hate group list because she's like super anti fucking Muslim shit.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's been deemed a hatist and all that stuff, but whatever. The other guy is, I can't remember where he's from, but he's on like a council member somewhere in some country. Geert Wilkins, I think his name is.
Geert?
I think his name's Geert. Yeah, he looks weird too. He's got some fucking weirdo hair. He's really tall. I think that's his name. And anyway, these guys are fuck. Let me find his name. Hold on. I think it's Geert. Geert. I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
But yeah, there's a lot of controversy surrounding these people and
Geert. Is that
Geert.
Dutch? What is that? It is Dutch. Is it? No shit.
Yeah, that might be right, Jay. Yeah, fuck, it doesn't matter. But anyway, people were all pissed off at them for even attempting to have this thing here, which I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like, do you really want to get to the point where you can't, like, your basic freedoms are infringed on because you're worried about offending somebody? Right. But then the other side of that argument is the legitimate argument where it's like, yeah, but they're really not fucking around. They will show up. Yeah, this time it was Barney Fife that showed up.
You're just kicking the hornet's nest. Like, really? I mean,
but part of me, the main part of me goes, yeah, fuck them. Fuck the hornet's nest. You know what? I mean, where does it end? Because you go to their country, you're not allowed to play music. You have to play that jingly bullshit they call music. Like, so if they get that where it's like, oh, don't even mention Muhammad, and we take that off the table, okay? And nobody will show the images or anything like that.
I mean, we saw what happened
offensive.
in Footloose, righty? I mean, you take away dancing.
Even. The town erupts.
Yeah,
kids won't stand for that.
I never saw the movie, but I know the plot of it.
You're familiar with that?
I'm familiar with the dance situation.
Yeah.
But you know, with these groups, that nobody's going to be satisfied when you take this off the list. It's just going to find something else to be offended by, and you know what I mean. So it's like I like the idea of going, no, you know what? This is America. If you don't like the way we do things here, you're free to leave. But this is how we do things here. And if you're going to be offended by that, I can't help that. I'm sorry. This will go on. And I know that it's probably not the right group because people think they're just a hate group, but whatever.
People think that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And there are probably other examples that you could point to. And I haven't done a whole lot of research into it, but I know the type of people they're talking about, kind of the shit stirrers and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with that personally.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other group. The other side.
Simpson?
No. Yeah.
His team?
His team, yeah.
Yeah,
great, dude.
Yeah, didn't do too well there. And then we've got a story out of Baltimore again. Shit almost went down today. There was a gun that went off.
Jits almost went ham.
Jits were about to go ham. This happened right on the same street because everybody's still out there protesting. Sure what exactly
got their charges
protesting at this point, but whatever. I don't have to be involved, so I guess from afar I can giggle at it, but whatever. They were out there marching as they have been in the middle of the afternoon with nowhere else to be, so they've been doing that every day. And so on security cam, the cops pick up a guy, African American, with what they see as a gun on him. And in this thing, so they go and address him, and he takes off running.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, right. That's not outrageous, but what the cops did is outrageous. They tackle him, and this guy he takes his gun out of his waistband. At that point, I'm lighting that motherfucker up. He's got his back to me. I see a gun in his hand. On your knees, piece of shit! On your knees, motherfucker! I will it! I did end you! That's an automatic. These guys showed great restraint. He pulls the gun out of his waistband, and these guys are on him, and he drops it, and the fucker goes off.
Oh, shit.
And it didn't hit anybody, didn't do any property damage, but all the fucking people that were around there immediately assumed
the cops shot him.
He
dropped his gun, and they shot him.
No, they thought the cops dropped him by shooting him. Like when he went down and they were... So here you've got a situation where tensions are already through the roof. This guy, suspects on the ground, they're trying to subdue him, and now you have 100 armchair quarterbacks on top of him. They shot him in the back. I saw. They shot him in the back.
Like, dude, he's not shot.
And so the police chief, who's black, had to come on, like literally in the pack of fucking wolves, and go, listen, no cop discharged a gun. He's fine. We're taking him to the hospital as a precautionary measure. They're like, nobody takes no one to the hospital on a precautionary measure. This is their line. This is bullshit. We saw him shoot him in the back.
There's no bullet wound anywhere.
No, there was no bullet wound. No cop's
There was
revolver
his
went
own
off.
fucking illegal gun that went off.
That he dropped.
Yeah.
That went off
After running from the cops.
Yes, after they saw it on camera that he even had a gun, and so they arrested him and took him in and all that. But already it's like giant conspiracy in Baltimore that the cops are out gunning down protesters. It's like they can't fucking win. This guy's in a pack of people with a gun on him and runs from the cops, drops the gun. Like, what are they supposed? Maybe that's what I need is like find out what are we supposed to do? What do we want the cops to do? Do we not want them to police anymore? Because that's what it looks like. I mean, when
Well,
you're
Michael Moore, they should have guns, right? That's for sure. That's for sure.
I sent him a tweet today.
Did you?
Yes, I sent Michael Moore directly a tweet today and said, after what did I say? After the shit at the free speech rally in Texas, still think cops should be unarmed, Mr. Moore?
Good point.
Yeah.
Did he get back to you?
No.
Oh.
Strangely enough, he didn't.
That's funny.
Yeah. God, what
I
an
mean,
asinine
The
statement.
biggest story here is
That's a
should
great
be
example
unarmed.
because there you just have cops protecting people's free speech, right?
Yeah.
Which Michael Moore would be in favor of,
You
presumably.
would hope as a filmmaker, yeah, he would be in favor of that. Who knows with that dude? Who knows? So anyway, yeah, they claim Melvin Russell, the lieutenant colonel there at the scene, says nobody was injured, everything's fine. He was arrested for a gun violation, taken to the hospital out of an abundance of caution. And
it was his own gun, motherfuckers.
Mhm.
Unbelievable.
Already I'm hearing people going, now this is what we're talking about. This is policing. This is how you're supposed to do it. You take someone to the hospital out of an abundance of caution, whether they injured or not. It's like, really? Do you really think these inner cities have the resources to every time some guy goes, Mato? Oh, well, let's rush him to the hospital immediately. Do you know how many times it's horseshit when someone goes, I can't breath? It happens all the time. Do you know how expensive a fucking ambulance ride is? It's really not cheap.
I do know that.
And the taxpayers are paying for it because guess who's not? Guess who's not paying for it? The guy that needed it. Because they're expensive.
I ever tell you, dude, I had a gap in my insurance one time, like of 3 days. And Russ had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance during those 3 days.
No.
Yes, dude.
Wait, say that again.
None of my family members have ever had to go to the hospital by ambulance.
Yeah.
Right? Russ had to go during the 3 days that I had a gap in health insurance.
Are you shitting
I
me?
fucking swear to God.
For what? Stub toe?
No, it was a heart issue.
Heart issue?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we out of an abundance of caution, like he was having trouble breathing, and
Catching
it's like,
his breath.
what am I going to do? Bet my kid's life on this that this is no big deal, you know? But
fingers crossed.
Right?
Yeah.
He never acted like this before. He was having trouble breathing.
Yeah.
And he was saying, my heart, this and that. We're like, fuck, so we take him to urgent care. And of course, they're like, well, we got to take him to the hospital. Fuck! In an
Really?
ambulance? Really?
Why couldn't you just drive him there? They wanted paramedics on hand like that.
Yeah. Gab took him. I would have demanded that I drive him. But so we incurred like $1,000 ambulance bill.
That's about what it is.
Yeah.
About $1,000 to get a quick ride in a car like
hell.
that. Yeah. You thought I was kidding when I said it was expensive.
It's
Jay can tell you. Yeah, it's extremely
What are
expensive.
you paying for? Like, I get it if they had to do something, but if he's really just sitting there.
Well, you're paying for all that equipment. You're paying for
That's the going rate.
Yeah.
That's the market rate.
You've got 2 paramedics or 3 paramedics
Yeah,
a lot of
I guess.
times.
I
I
don't-
mean, it's not as quick as you'd think. And
Right.
and they're doing testing while you're in there. You know, it's shit's expensive.
Looking back, I wish she would have just driven him right to a big hospital instead of going to urgent care. But it was, it was local. And again, we're freaking out because it's our kid, right?
Yeah, I'm picking up senses that Gab and carting kids around is not her strong suit. I don't know. Call me crazy. Maybe you should be in charge of carting the children around.
Yeah. Maybe you're
Sometimes
right.
she's with them. Sometimes she loses them. Sometimes they get free rides to the hospital. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sucked.
Well, thank God you're making so much money here. You can afford.
That's the great
$1,000,
thing about it.
you know.
It's just a
Yeah.
pebble
Anyway.
in the ocean.
The other story that they're trying to get to blow up is the local one. Around here, Wayne County prosecutors have requested the autopsy. Remember the guy that was shot?
Yeah, it was a kid coming down the stairs, right? Approaching a cop, and the cop, or not a cop, federal agent.
Yeah, an ICE agent.
Claims the kid had a hammer.
Claw hammer. Yep.
Yeah, coming at him, so he took him out.
Yep. 20-year-old kid fatally shot by a federal agent last week. They're saying that the autopsy report, they've requested that be withheld from the public because they say releasing the findings could interfere with their investigation. So immediately I'm assuming people are going to go, the police are trying to cover something up. Police, but this is not the police saying this. This is the prosecutor saying this. So a little different. Terrence Kellums is the kid that was shot. His autopsy was conducted this last week. His death ruled a homicide as a result of multiple gunshot wounds. The medical examiner's chief investigator, William Casper, said the report is not available to the public or to the attorney for the Kellum family. The report is ready, but it's being held indefinitely until further notice on orders from the prosecutor's office. They don't want it released. Assistant Wayne County prosecutor Maria Miller confirmed her office doesn't want the report to be made public yet. We believe the release of the info could interfere with our ability to investigate the case. There's certain information in the report that could interfere. The decision to withhold has been criticized by the Detroit Police Commissioner, Ricardo Moore. The prosecutor's convenience in this investigation should not outweigh the public trust. I strongly encourage Kim Worthy to release the autopsy report as expeditiously, thank you, as possible. What? Expeditiously. Yeah, no, you're right. Good call. You were right. That's my bad. That's on me.
No, I've been there. Sometimes you're reading. Hey, that's
I
no
hate
problem,
that.
Mike. You know what?
I hate that.
That's just a small little bump in the road.
I appreciate
it. Happens.
that. Thank
It happens
you.
from time to time.
You know what?
man.
That makes me feel really good to hear you say that. I was really gonna.
No, dude.
That was hurting me. That I was tripping over words here and there.
Hey, we talk
There's
a
no
lot on
worse
this
feeling.
show.
Yeah.
And every now and then you run into one, you know,
I just
and
didn't
it's no
expect to get-
problem, dude.
I didn't expect to get that kind of support out of the crew. It's just that
Oh,
makes me feel really
from
good.
one person.
Right.
No, I got your back too, Mike. It's
Thanks,
okay, buddy.
Mickey. I appreciate
don't.
that. So the important part of the crew is wow, I feel much better now. Actually, this is a good day.
Move on expeditiously.
I will. Kellum said, police say Kellum lunged with a hammer before he was shot by Mitchell Quinn. He's the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Officer, ICE. His father is the one that says, I witnessed this. He never had a hammer in his hands. They did find a claw hammer on site with a wooden handle. And
Isn't there some video available though?
There is.
That's
and
what's weird, right? In their house.
There's video in their house at the top of the stairs looking down the staircase,
Why?
which is where he came from. Like for break-ins, I don't know. And there's one trained at the door that probably would see the cops' actions, but not. But yeah, coming down the stairs, you would probably see if he had a hammer in his hands. And maybe that's what they don't want released, is that part of it.
Huh.
Because I can't imagine what could interfere.
Yeah, who knows? It could be anything.
Yeah. The Detroit Coalition Against Police Brutality president Ron Scott said there may be inflammatory information in the autopsy report. That's the only reason I can think of why they wouldn't want the report to be made public. There's something that will make people highly upset about this. And in the wake of the riots in Baltimore, they don't want it out here. So I don't know.
Interesting.
The cops seem to have no problem with it being out, though.
Okay.
The cops are the ones going,
Yeah, they're like, hey,
fuck.
dude had a hammer in his hand.
Yeah,
Plus
release
there's
it.
video. So
Yeah, go ahead and release it. I don't
plus
know.
the cop that shot him is black.
Yeah, so yeah, take the race card off the table. That sucks.
Hey, as you may have heard, Zotford is in the middle of their spring cleaning sale. That means all 2014 inventory has got to go, and it has to go now. While supplies last, you can get 0% financing for 72 months on almost every 2014 in stock. Also, the rebates on the 2014 cars, trucks, and SUVs have never been higher at Zotford than they are right now. Friends, it's not very often you can finance a brand new Ford with $0 out of pocket and 0% financing. So please hurry down to Zotford at I-75 and exit 98 and jump all over these smoking hot deals the same way I jump all over Big E for being, well, Big E. Check out our massive inventory and incredibly hot sales staff at Zotford.com.
Hey, before we take a break, I did want to mention that the New York cop, Officer Brian Moore, 25 years old, who was shot in the back of the head bullet coming out the front of his head. He died today.
Damn it. Brutal.
Probably for the better, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a bullet in the back of the head coming through the front.
Yeah.
I mean,
probably.
yeah. And it didn't look good.
The medulla
at all.
oblongata
Yeah.
and all that
Not
shit.
the place to take one. It was quite a scene at the hospital today when the ambulance was taking his body out of there and seeing just rows of cops saluting it and you know, hitting the ambulance by. So sad day.
So remind me,
in New York.
did the shooter, did they kill him or just arrest him?
They arrested him. These guys, how fucking there they are. Seems like a great fucking guy too, from everything I've read about this cop.
25, you said?
25
Damn
years
it,
old.
dude.
Yeah, unbelievable. The cops, you know, there was a witness there that went, he hopped that fence and then he ran down the block and jumped into that house on the right, the third house on the right. He went like 3 doors down, and cops were like Spider-Man, or they were on roofs, like next door, like going roof to roof as they closed in on this house and then stormed it. But yeah, they took him alive. Unfortunately, that was the only, I mean, there's a lot of bad news with this story, but that was really sad news to see that they weren't able to unload about 8,000 rounds into this guy. There he is in his garbage bag, by the way. Look at him in court. His ripped garbage bag, whatever that thing is he's wearing. I would have walked into that house no matter what happened, and just
Animal, man.
yeah, piece of shit. So yeah, terrible to report that. Anyway, let's take a quick time out.
Collect our thoughts.
Collect our thoughts. Yeah, we'll tell you about this bodybuilder, some guy that stole a plane.
It happens.
Vegas, you know, a jet.
If you have the skills.
Hell yeah, I want to steal a jet. I really do. And we'll give you an update on the Django actress that played the race car. Daddy. This, I was just kissing my boyfriend.
Oh my God, Daddy.
Because I'm black and he's white. Daddy.
Yeah, update on her.
Yeah, great update too. We'll do it all next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey TDC friends, you know who it is, Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zot Ford and Holly. As Jay mentioned before, Zot Ford is all about offering our customers choices. Bruce Jenner chose to be a chick, Big E chose to be normcore, and Jay has foolishly chosen to be Big E's trainer. That's how life goes. Well, now you can choose which new Ford you'd like to enjoy. Right now, lease a new 2015 Fiesta, Focus, or Fusion for just $145 a month for only 24 months. Friends, even the cult leader will agree. These deals are too good to pass up. Just $145 for a new Fiesta, Focus, or Fusion. Hurry down to Zot Ford at I-75 and exit 98, or check out our sick deals and our massive inventory at zotford.com. Get there.
Detroitcast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Detroitcast on a Tuesday with Mike and Jay. And quite a bit to go still. Why don't we start with one of our favorite stories from last summer. Daddy. Of course, we're talking about the Django actress, Danielle Watts. She finally went to court after officers arrested her.
Cops got called to her and her boyfriend in a car, right? Kind of on a popular street there in LA.
It was right outside CBS studios in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
Is where that was. And they were getting it on in the car.
And so somebody called, like, lewd acts are occurring in the car.
Yeah.
Whether it's a prostitute, don't know, but
Nobody
they're banging
knew.
in the car.
Yeah. And
in public, in broad daylight.
And the cops pulled up, and her excuse was, we were just making out, and you're coming up because I'm black. Because I'm black and my boyfriend's white in Los Angeles. Like anyone would give a shit in Los Angeles.
And if I remember right, this cop was pretty awesome. Like he was like
hilarious.
He had some smart ass comment.
She said about something about her her agent.
I have an agent.
And he's like, I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, kind of gave her the very proud of you.
Yeah, it was totally like an LA cop who's seen everything and probably deals with. I mean, you just walk down the streets in LA and you'll see celebrities. So the idea that this low rent, half a nobody actress who had a bit part in Django is going to make some cop go, well, spread out. Look at what we have here.
Be on your way, madam.
Well, excuse me. Have sex all you'd like. Like as if he's going to give a shit that she's an actress. That's really good for you. Good for you. I'm glad you got an agent. I'm still going to need your ID. Anyway, you want to relive it a little bit?
Yeah.
And this is how it went down.
So if you would have told me, I still would have done it. I'm not gonna ask you right now.
Oh, you know what? Do you have
is
the
this
full
from a fucking helicopter or something?
Yeah, there's full video. Go to TMZ. They should have full video of
Well,
it.
you know what? That looked like that was the apology more than
no.
It wasn't? Okay.
No. Anyway, she has copped a plea deal in court today. She pled no contest to disturbing the peace, and in return for this plea deal, they dropped the lewd conduct charge. So that was dismissed. Her and her boyfriend have to do 40 hours of community service and write an apology to the cops for playing the race card.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of it.
What happened after the original story, after she played the race card, pictures came out showing them just banging in this car.
Yeah.
Just complete bullshit. When she's
the
like,
door
oh,
was
we're
just
open,
open,
kissing, and then you come upon us, and it's because I'm black.
Registration? No, I have her ID. Well, I have her passport.
That's the boyfriend.
Daddy, can you
Who is
hold
she
on
to
just
you?
a second? Daddy, hold on. Excuse me. What's the issue?
Somebody called the police saying that there was lewd acts in the car.
No lewd acts happening. We paid
Doesn't
for the
matter.
meter.
I have to ID you.
We're not doing anything.
Somebody
I'm
called.
on the phone with my dad. This is my boyfriend.
Okay, I want to see your ID. Somebody called, which means gives me the right to be here. So it gives me the right to identify you.
Do you know how many
by
times
law.
I've been called? The cops have been called just for being
That-
black.
that is
It's
not-
because we're black and he's white. I'm just being really honest.
I don't. Who brought up a race card?
I'm bringing it up because
I said nothing about you being black.
Here.
And I have every right to ask your ID.
And I have every right to say no. And if you'd like
No,
to,
you do
and if
not
you'd
have
like
every right to
demand
say
me,
no.
You can take me down to the court office and I can make a scene about it.
No.
And you know what? I have a
No.
publicist and I work as an
I'm
actor
mildly
at this
interested.
studio.
I'm mildly interested. You have a
interested.
publicist, but I'm going to get your ID.
No, I am going to say no. And if you'd like my ID, you can say that I am resisting arrest, and you can take
There's
me down.
there's no resisting. You're just interfering.
And what
That's
I'm
all
saying
it
is, I have not done anything wrong. I'm on the phone with my father. My stepmom is dying.
Do you know what
If you'd
probable
like to
cause is?
demand my
You know what
ID,
probable cause is?
Yes, and I have none. Do you, what is the
I have
probable
probable
cause?
cause.
none.
I'm sitting
We
here
received a
talking on the
radio
phone
call.
with my father.
That's
so if you'd
mildly
like to
interesting.
demand my ID,
Can you have her ID, please?
No, you may not.
Yes,
You may not have my ID. And if you would like to demand
L30,
it,
send me a female officer, please.
please do.
I'm going to get your ID one way or the
That's
other.
fine. You can
Yes.
do whatever you
Your
like.
cavity's
Yes, I am.
about to get
Daddy?
searched.
Thank you for bringing up the race card. I never hear that.
I love that cop.
That's awesome.
Dude.
I'm
Yeah.
mildly interested that you have a publicist.
Which he was not even mildly interested.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit.
He gave her the very proud of you.
Yeah,
response.
I know we say it a lot, but this idea of people knowing what their rights are,
right?
That throw this out to a cop, like a cop doesn't know.
Did you hear the
what
real
his
quick
rights
mention of probable cause? Do you
That
know what
was
probable
great.
cause is? Yes, and I don't have any. He's like, right, I do.
Yeah, you don't need any probable cause. I do, which is why I was called here.
Yeah,
and I'm still gonna need your ID,
and I have every right to deny it.
She
no,
played
actually, you don't.
in a 1 minute span. She played the race card. She played the I'm an actress, I have a publicist card,
And
she
my
played,
daddy will get me out of this.
and my mama is in the hospital dying. She played like all four of them, all four
she's
big
just slapping
cards.
him down. Boom,
And he's
boom, boom.
I'm mildly interested. I'm glad your mom's
He's
dying.
like Trump.
I'm still gonna need your ID, and then you hear him over his shoulder walkie-talkie. I'm gonna need a female officer here to finger this chick's asshole.
That's awesome. So she ends up pleading to a lesser charge, but she's gonna have to write an apology to that guy.
To 3 cops, to that
Awesome.
cop and 2 others that came upon the scene.
I would frame that shit if I was that guy.
Oh,
hang it in my office.
I would call the media just like she did by going to the media with this. Why would she?
That's right. The next day, dude, she's like on Good Morning America and shit,
Giving interviews
with her and
about
her
it.
boyfriend. Her boyfriend's some chef or
Some
some shit.
Douchebag, really skinny dude. She was riding him in the car,
Yeah,
if you remember.
yeah.
Weren't there tissues around there too?
Oh.
It was a gross scene. I think her top was off. It was
It was
full
full on.
It was full on. They were fucking in the passenger seat of that car with the door open
on a busy street.
Yeah, in the San Fernando Valley.
That's
outside
where you
of
just
CBS
gotta go.
Studios.
You got me.
How desperate is that? Where you're playing the race card in a moment like that? You're going on Good Morning America, the Today Show. You're going on the circuit. TMZ. She was giving interviews and trying to blame it on the race thing. Meanwhile, the cops did absolutely nothing wrong. Were totally justified in being there. And then it totally blows up in your face because you were fucking in your car that people saw. Wouldn't you at that point just be grateful that the cops let you go and make as little noise as possible, knowing that you were guilty as
Right.
shit?
Piece of shit.
Yeah, total piece of shit. Father, my father, I'm on the phone with my father. Daddy, my mother's dying in the hospital. I have a publicist.
Hey,
Bitch.
I'm just I'm not doing
speaking of bitches,
I'm not doing the Specs voice, man.
you did so well yesterday.
Okay,
Specs voice,
fine.
go. Come on, go.
God, sorry.
Sorry.
As you know, I'm Big E, and I don't do well with big words or live reads. So Steve, my boss, an all-around nice fellow, has decided to use all simple words for my new read. Here we go. Zot Ford has some really good deals, and the employees are very nice and pretty. From time to time, they feed me and make me feel special. Also at Zot, Zot has won many fancy awards, so I'm guessing we are nice to our customers. I would be super duper happy if you would come buy a new or used car at Zot Ford, because then I can keep my job. By the way, my anal hymen is still in good shape, in case anyone cares, or whatever. You'd think I could remember this after yesterday.
Yeah.
Ooh, is my face red?
Simpson should be.
Well done.
Good
E.
job, E.
That
Very
was
good. That was
He's getting better, I think.
yeah. All it took breaking the seal and getting through that, opening that door again. I'm glad Jay's pried that door open because that Specs voice.
The voice is
coming
back.
to you. Yeah.
Took it for a spin the other
full
day,
on.
and it's
all those
back.
all those
Yeah.
waiting tables and whatnot to pay for that voice is coming to fruition.
Well worth it.
It's
Well,
nice.
It's
Very
great
nice.
to see. Success.
Jay, you consider yourself in shape, right?
No,
Yeah.
no,
You should.
No, I was working out with some dudes just tonight, actually, yesterday, and no, I'm not in shape.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
compared to these dudes, and
Well, you can't
actually
compare yourself
no.
to others.
This one guy that works out at Gab's place regularly, 52 years old. Holy shit!
Really?
Just a machine, man.
Really?
Beast. Yeah.
How well is he there? Like 20 hours a day?
No, he's not like fucking huge like this guy you're about to describe, but he's really in shape.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the guy I'm about to describe he looks sweet.
Yeah, that's a great look. I wish I was like him.
This guy looks like
Why
such
do
an
people
asshole.
even try to? I mean, this is extreme beyond extreme. But why do you even try to build muscle like that? That's so strange.
So ridiculous.
Well,
that's a psychological issue.
Totally. I was going to say the same thing. This is a mental thing with this guy. He wanted to look like the Incredible Hulk. That was kind of where he was going with this. Unfortunately, he wasn't physically capable of getting there, and he wasn't. Nobody would be. So when you say why would you want to work out to look like this? He didn't do that. In fact, he's a bodybuilder who was injecting oil and alcohol into his arms and almost had both of them amputated over it.
Believe it. Look at those things, man.
Yeah.
It's just, look at his traps.
Talking to somebody like that.
Looks like
it looks like he
wipe.
has a fucking life preserver. Or one of those things that you sleep with on the plane.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, those
don't
little-
half donuts around his neck.
Totally it does. He's a father, by the way,
Oh,
father
that's
of
nice.
one. His name is Romario dos Santos Elvis.
Goey. Romario.
Romario. That's an easy one. There's a double R there.
Holy
Romario.
fuck.
A little before and after.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
God.
Romario.
Look at his arm, dude.
Ugh.
Like the before, he's kind of just a, in shape, thinner guy, right?
Yeah. Looks so much better like that.
Just looks like a normal dude.
Yeah. E?
Would you?
Come on.
no, I would not.
Romario.
That's
an easy
No,
one.
if you had to do Romario, though, which state would you rather do him in?
I wouldn't want to do it in any.
Well, all right, E. I get it. But if you had to, which one?
The normal person.
Yeah.
You would.
You
All
would
right.
definitely, yeah.
So put that one back on for his
Go back
Romario.
to that last one.
Yeah, E thinks the first one was hot. Go back to the first one.
Yeah.
No, I want to see. No.
No,
that
there he
one.
is,
There's
there
the
he is.
one.
Yeah,
he-
that's the one.
I
That's what he
wanted to
prefers.
see the one with his wife. It looked like his wife or girlfriend. There was like two over. Another one more.
That's his wife.
Go one more though. I don't like that picture.
Oh, you're trying to look up her skirt.
I get it.
You're an animal.
Romario used the lethal cocktail to pump his biceps up to 25 inches. What are normal biceps?
I have no idea.
No. He now faces a catalog of serious health issues. He said he used the synthetic filler Synthol, which cost him his sanity and nearly his life as he tried to kill himself when his wife was 6 months pregnant.
What's worse than being that fucking huge is being like falsely that huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree. This time he got addicted to this injection. I remember the doctor told me they would need to amputate both arms. They said everything in there, all my muscles were rock. They were like pebbles
Yeah.
because of all the shit he'd injected in there. Mr. Alves became obsessed with the drug after moving. I saw some really big guys in the gym with huge arms, and I started to make friends with them. Oh, imagine that.
I want to have arms like that too. I bet his legs are little tiny chicken legs.
Just little wee guys. Look
Haven't
at those
paid
poops.
any attention to him.
They introduced me to Synthol, and I got excited about the results.
Dude, I
lost
guarantee
control.
if you look at his abs, you can tell all he does is arms.
That's what I was gonna
and
say. There's
shoulders.
nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing.
He does no lower body.
Yeah. My muscles started to solidify. I couldn't even inject my arms. They were full of rocks.
Ugh.
Oh, what a dick. I decided the only thing I could do was buy specialist needles to inject. The kind of needles used on bulls. There are no stronger needles around.
Wow. To get through it all.
Yeah. I know it seems stupid, but I had to get my Synthol fix. He even tricked his wife into injecting him with the oil in places he couldn't even reach anymore. I told her there was no problem with it, that it left my body after a short time. But after she learned the truth, she made it clear that he had to choose between her and this Synthol. She told me, if I start using it again, she'll leave me. I had depression. I was removed from my job. I tried to kill myself. Sounds like this guy's a mental basket case. I was hospitalized in a clinic. I decided to fix my ways, and I never again wanted to take this drug. Soon the filler began causing him constant pain. He suffered kidney failure due to all the toxins in the
Look at his
oil.
legs. Look at his legs.
Look at those chicks and legs.
They're
They're
the-
chicks and legs. His wife's legs are bigger than his.
They are, dude. Look at his little tiny wee legs.
Look at those chicks and legs.
God, how they even hold him up.
Wow. It looks like someone stretched his legs a lot.
Yeah.
Like if they were like, what was that toy we had as a kid?
Stretch Armstrong.
Stretch Armstrong, where you could
It's like
stretch them out.
Mike TV from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Remember, he got shrunk into the TV, and then they put him on the taffy stretcher.
I never saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That was the Depp movie.
Damn it! Go see that.
Is that good?
Go see it. Yes,
Go see it.
Go upstairs and see it
in the freaking in the theaters, Jay.
Dude, I like Depp in that. I think Depp's a great Wonka.
I love Depp. I think he's
and I like
really
that
good
story. You know, that's kind of a
yeah.
You reminisce back to when you read it and watched it in elementary school.
So anyway, this guy is having kidney failure. The doctor told him the only course of action would be to have one of his arms amputated. Then they said both arms would need to be amputated. And then thank God the doctor told me they did not have to amputate. Instead, they could remove the synthol rocks, which had formed inside my arm. I would have just taken his arms off anyways, just to be dicks. If I was the doctor, I would go,
so you'd be done with it. Dude, you can't control these things.
Yeah. And you did this, so I'm not going to remove all these rocks from your arm. I'm just going to remove your arms. Because it sounds like he was buying in. He was bummed, but he was buying in. So
they saved him, but so what are we seeing now? Is this after or is this during his injectionable?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think this is during the injection.
Okay, so
what a
Jesus
dick looking at himself in the mirror.
So what do we have after then?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Okay, but he's had some sort of surgery to reduce. Freak, dude.
Go to the end. See if he got the surgery done. Yeah, it's not like he's ripped abs.
No, he's like just total shoulder and an arm.
Yeah, it looks like maybe he hasn't had the surgery yet because he just
gross.
Getting addicted to synthol.
God, you imagine being so vain too, like you're so into your body like that.
Yeah, he said
so
he was
controlled by it. Like, I gotta look a certain way. That's gross. They look like titties on the back of his neck.
He just looks like an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, just looks like an asshole.
Is he realizing that in any way? Has he come to this
I don't
realization?
know. He sounds like like someone who doesn't get it. He says he used this muscle enhancing drug for a couple years ago, and then he stopped taking it finally after the doctors got to him. And then 2 weeks ago, I bought a substance called Estajor, a horse hormone.
Oh my!
So clearly, this fucking asshole is not learning this. I put the needle in my chest and sucked in the air to see if I could get a vein, but nothing came out. I froze and started to sweat. My mind started remembering the things I've gone through, and I thought that I couldn't do it. I couldn't give in to temptation again. So he's done now for good.
Okay.
Yeah. So clearly you can see this guy's just got some mental issues. But kids, in all their honesty, were coming up, like people were coming up to him in church, and like mothers were like, yeah, my child's fucking scared of you. And so the kids wouldn't even come in there. And then he'd get jacked off when he'd see some kid who was like, you look like the Hulk, and wanted a picture with him.
I do.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was going for. Glad you noticed it. 3-year-old. Sweet. Kid made my day. Came up to me, called me the Hulk. It's pretty fucking sweet. Whatever. What'd you do today on?
Probably went jacked off to it.
Yeah. God. Ugh.
Gross.
Guy steals a plane.
Sounds like the start of a joke.
I know. How old is that guy?
Oh, 44.
I was going to say 45 to 47. He's 27.
Let me see.
What? Dude.
I know.
Huh.
That guy's younger than E.
Wow.
By a lot, too.
I mean, been kind to my man. Time has not been kind.
This guy was in like 8th grade when you graduated high school, E.
It's 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years younger.
Yep. He allegedly stole a light aircraft from a Vegas airport. Was talked down, though, by a calming air traffic controller who promised him coffee once he landed. So this guy's trying anything he can to get this dickhead on the ground.
Listen, I'll give you some coffee. I don't know.
We'll have coffee. We'll talk. Of course, cops met him at the airport. Evan Grant is his name. He's 27 years old. He stole a twin-engine Piper P444 plane.
That can't be right. He can't be 27. Look at that guy.
I know. I kept looking at this like they've got to have it. Maybe it's a misprint, but it clearly says he's 27 years old. I don't know how that's possible either. He absolutely, if you said he was 54, I'd go, yeah, all right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he looks all right for 54.
So he just saunters up to a Piper and jumps in and takes it?
Yeah, from a Vegas airport on Saturday morning. Circle. That's weird.
I guess if you got the skills, you gotta watch out. You can't leave your keys in there, right?
Did you see McCarran Airport, by the way?
No.
For the fight?
No.
They had to close McCarran at one point. There were so many private planes on the runway. It was packed with everybody's private jet.
Yeah. Marky Mark and everybody flying out.
Yeah, Tom Brady, who went from the Kentucky Derby right there.
Oh, that'd be so much fun, wouldn't
How
it?
cool would that be?
Fuck.
Yeah, look at that dude.
27.
Wow.
But he was buying for all his buddies at 12.
Probably. Yeah, that dude looks anything but 27. So he steals this airplane, starts circling the city for about an hour, just tooling around in some dude's Piper. It appears that it was the pacifying conversation with an air traffic controller that led him to decide to land the aircraft. He told the controller, I kind of think I screwed up your night, didn't I? And this is on the screen, and the traffic controller was like, yeah, I just want to get you down on the ground safely. We'll grab some coffee, go to my house, whatever. We'll have we'll just talk, okay? Just come on down. And the guy's like, okay, since you've kept me company, I'll just make it easier for you. I'll just come down now.
Jeez.
Yeah. He added, I've already committed enough felonies. The guy's like,
that's nice.
Yeah, whatever. Just how about you come down? We'll grab that cup of coffee. He was arrested upon landing and charged with grand larceny auto.
Why do they ever believe that after they've done this, that when they get down, my demands are a car with $10,000 unmarked, and as if they're gonna let them drive away after they
watch too many movies, I think.
Yeah, I guess.
Slip through the
it's not all
line
that
of defense.
Rare, by the way, those perimeter breaches at airports. I guess it's happened hundreds of times in the last decade.
People gotta, start locking the doors and stuff.
It is rare that you get into the plane and go somewhere with it, though. That's rare. I mean, I don't think it's like leaving your car keys in your car. And then we get a guy who's quickly becoming my new hero. Quickly.
Oh, I know this story.
Oh, I love this guy. Fat, balding Frenchman managed to convince you're going to like this, unsuspecting women that he was a male model and a prince who wanted to meet them in a darkened room in his flat for sex.
Yeah, that seems very reasonable.
So he posts a profile picture of this 37-year-old guy that's in great shape on several dating sites, including a fake photo to lure in the women. Several women responded to his advertisement, with two complaining that they only agreed to sex believing that the man they were meeting was completely different. He described himself as Anthony LaRoche and said they should have a completely blind date.
This guy, liver spots all over him.
So
just a mess.
He exchanges explicit text messages with these chicks. There's the guy he said he was. There's Mr. LaRoche. And so he sends some explicit sexting. He's doing sexting with both these women who agree to meet up. One of the women, Sylvie, told police she was convincing the man she was meeting was a good-looking man with brown hair and blue eyes. He explained he wanted to play a game like in 50 Shades of Grey to make things more exciting. So he tells her to put on a blindfold before coming into his place and then go into the bedroom. And so they have their encounter. All of a sudden, she turns on the lights, and instead of this 37-year-old male model, she was confronted with a man around 65 with glasses, balding, and all wrinkly. I felt total disgust.
Awesome.
Good for him, man.
Thinking out of the box.
Exactly. Yeah.
The man's second victim, Leela, said that after they finished their encounter, she wanted to see her new friend for the first time. He didn't want me to take off the blindfold. When I insisted, he got angry. I ended up seeing his silhouette in the dark. He was old, pot-bellied with a big nose. I told him, that wasn't you in the photo. He said, no, but I had grown fond of you, and I was afraid to admit it. I left in disgust, she says.
Wonder how far they got, or he got.
Sounds like
he banged him.
Wow.
Yeah. Police arrested the 68-year-old man. His name's Michael. A magistrate has placed him on a formal investigation for rape by surprise.
Damn, dude.
You know what, though? I'm about to blame the victim here, maybe.
Oh, no, blame away.
But, like, it's... I get that you're doing this little thing here.
A little bit of contributory negligence, would you say?
The idea of agreeing to flat out just walking into a flat or an apartment blindfolded...
to get nailed.
You're kind of asking for something being a little odd.
I mean, with all the catfishing stories that are out there,
yeah,
you really think that this 37-year-old smoking hot prince
is just throwing out a line to anybody?
Yeah,
anybody.
And in blind, come in blind. I want to do a little 50 Shades of Grey with you.
And this guy's just
all sweaty.
Gross. They take off the blind slide. Oh, that'd be horrifying.
Liver spots everywhere.
This big beak of a nose on this dude.
Old,
saggy old scrotum.
Balls. Fucking Big Daddy. What is it like? Gross balls.
Saggy, gross balls. The man told police, for me, when she entered the bedroom naked, she was consenting. At that moment, she couldn't care less what I look like. Kind of agree, too. This guy's got a game going. I mean, don't a lot of people, that's common for people to bullshit on their,
of course it is,
on their online whatever you're trying to. I mean, this goes to an extreme,
a little bit of a bait and switch, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Bait and switch.
What would you have you ever had that where you planned to meet up with some chick and then she showed up and was not what you picked out, or
that Adam's apple?
Yes,
I
did.
What did you do? I'm trying to remember. Did you tell us about it?
No, I haven't told. Oh my god, I haven't told this story in a long time.
Was she a dude? You son of a bitch.
This was way back from freaking.
Was he a girl?
I was just out of high school. I don't even know how I met this, but this was way before smartphones or anything. It was just like on AIM or something like that. And I drove all the way to Ann Arbor to meet her at this mall. And it turned out she wasn't.
Meet me in front of the Hot Topic.
She wasn't even close to what I thought she was going to look like. So I kind of just kept on
walked by.
How do you know it was her?
Pink hat.
I knew it was her.
How did you know it was her?
I don't remember, but I knew it was her.
What was wrong with her?
Yeah, what was different?
Huge. The body was a little bigger than expected.
Really? Were you the big V still at that point?
Yeah, and I still was.
You still walked away from it? This guy must have been a mess.
Yeah.
Girl.
Whatever.
Huh.
Yeah, so she tried to. I don't remember. At that point, it was really weird because I think I'm trying to remember how I was even talking to her. I think I got her phone number, and I think we were texting, but I think I still only had a prepaid phone at the time, so it was a weird situation where, and I was grounded at the time too, so I couldn't hang out with. I forgot about that.
Grounded. Trying to go meet up, go hook up with a chick at a mall and bang her.
I forgot about that. That was the only time in my life I've ever been grounded because my mom found
really
out. Yeah.
Because why?
I was 20, grounded at 20 from she'd found a case of beer in my car.
Ooh.
And yeah.
Who bought it for you?
A guy I used to work with at Big Boy. And it was funny because here's the worst part of this situation was like, I had a car and it was me and Burley, and we didn't really need to stop by my house, but for some reason I did stop by my house. So me and Burley are in the basement, and all of a sudden I hear my mom just fucking yelling at me. I don't know why, but she gone and looked in the car, and I didn't hide it very well.
She doesn't trust you.
Right, which is understandable. Yeah. But so anyway, Burley was here in the house, like while I'm just getting railed on, like yelled at for having not like you asshole, no, but just getting yelled at for having beer and yada yada. So I ended up getting grounded for like a month, I think, or something.
A month?
Well, actually, I was only grounded from seeing the gang, like the video filming gang. I was actually able to do everything else. I think I still went to Piston playoff games and watched stuff. I just couldn't hang out.
Your mom hates everyone involved. Do you understand how this works? She hates Jay and I.
Yeah. I know.
She absolutely hates all your buddies. She thinks everybody is contributing to you being a shithead.
I know.
When in fact,
I know.
The truth of the matter is,
he's brought me down 50 levels in this year.
I know.
You think he's brought you down a century?
I can't say... Exactly. I can't say picture without saying picture first.
Yeah.
I'm going to start saying image from now on. You're right, though. There is this sense that I don't make my own choices, apparently, but I don't ever let that to be the situation. I know it's what I do, and is what it is. But God, I haven't told that story in a long time. I completely forgot about it. Well, I didn't forget about it.
That happens.
So then never called, nothing again. It just
kind of ended after that.
Yeah.
I wonder how I found it. Was on AIM, I think, one of those chat rooms where we'd go in those chat. Well, you probably didn't do any of that. Mickey would be too young for that too. Even.
AIM, all interested men.
No. American Online chat rooms.
No, I did that for sure.
ASL, age, sex, locate, ASL. What's your ASL?
It just seemed really stupid that we'd all go to school and we'd be like at school talking all day, and then we'd like race home and you'd be like, all right, I got to get on the computer. We got to type to each other now.
Right.
We talked all day.
Yep. We got to go on AIM.
God, I'm glad we missed that.
Yeah,
it was
I know.
so stupid. So weird.
So E, do you think she was ready to surrender her loins to you?
I don't know.
She
But
ready to make you a manny?
I don't know. But you know what?
God, what could have been, huh?
I know, right? Maybe that night I kind of got caught in the Michigan Stadium too that night because then I didn't know what to do because I don't know what I explained to I think I told my mom I just was going to Borders downtown Ann Arbor. So I ended up walking into the stadium. Now you can sometimes walk in there and walk around. And I stayed in there long enough that they locked the gates. So I started calling fucking like my parents.
Just walking around. Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So what was the girl's name?
I don't remember, man. At all.
Yes, you do.
No, I really don't.
You must have a note somewhere in your room with her name and number.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God.
You are ordered to find it and bring it in.
Court ordered.
I'll look, but I really don't think so.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call. We need to see what this chick looked. Could you find her?
No way. Not even close.
We'll call her and see how she felt being spurned by Big E.
Oh,
name and number, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
it's an order.
That's your responsibility now.
Okay.
Now we got a school that we've talked about before, Smith College, all women's college.
Yep.
They have changed their policies.
Is this the one with
all the lesbian,
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
transgender shit?
They've changed their policy to allow all transgender women into the college.
So
now.
just anybody.
Yep, it takes effect for all those applying this fall. Smith President Kathleen McCartney said the concepts of female identity have evolved. Under the new admissions policy, applicants who were born male but identify as women are eligible for admission. Applicants must select female on the common application to be considered. From the civil rights perspective, we're saying trans women are women. What we're doing here is really affirming that we're a women's college and we have an unwavering mission and identify as a women's college.
So they took the neither and either off the application. And it's just if you're a woman, you can check the box, or if you feel like a woman.
Yes.
You are a woman or feel like you might be a woman at some point.
Right. GLAD said they worked with Smith alumni for the change. GLAD president Kate Ellis said Smith joins a growing number of colleges that respect and afford equal opportunity to all women, even ones with dicks.
So is the college just a regular college now?
Even ones with big, giant, hairy ball sacks. All women are welcome.
Not a fallopian tube to be found.
So it's just a college now, right?
No, it's just a women's college.
No, but
you have to
but
identify.
I could go.
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, I was thinking, how hard would it be about I don't know. Here's the problem, Jay. I thought about trying to enroll myself into Smith College, just see it, but I don't think I could get accepted. My grades are shit.
I'm not doing it, you son of a bitch.
Well,
no.
Hear me out.
No.
Hear me out.
Mm-mm.
There's only one of us in the room that could possibly qualify to get into Smith College.
Nikki, you're on it.
Jay.
No.
I've done a lot of the legwork. I've already gotten a student ID number, and I've registered, at least for my common application. My app ID is 13781077. So I've got the ball rolling for you. Now, all you have to do is check the woman box. So I think we just need to download the college application.
I'm pretty sure it's online, bro. We could probably get this done.
I tried finding it online. They made me register for this shit.
Oh, this is addressed to Michael. So
I wasn't going to put your name.
It won't match up with my transcripts and shit.
Well, I just wanted to show you that it is possible to get the ball rolling. I would love to get an acceptance letter from Smith College for Women for Jay Drake.
I'll think about it. That would be kind of funny.
Just check the woman box and see if you can get in.
That would, I'll think about it.
Just mull it about.
Okay.
Just mull it about. Okay. So yeah, good news there. And then before we get to some email,
how about an Ask E? Do we have an Ask E?
Oh yeah, you want to do an Ask E?
Hell yeah.
All right. You don't want to hear about
kidding.
The mom that chucked her baby over a bridge. The baby lived. And then the mom chucked herself over the bridge too, and she lived as well.
We've heard that though, right? Been there, done that with some of these stories.
Yeah.
The Detroitcast already has a firm stance on
babies. They're like corks, dude.
No throwing babies, remember, for any circumstance.
Out windows, we said. That was our bright line. No throwing babies out windows at any point.
Okay.
We didn't care if it was a basement window. We didn't care if it was a car window. That was our bright line. So
it's inappropriate.
I'm not saying it's acceptable or recommended to toss a baby off a bridge. I don't think, but that definitely was not included in our bright line.
They'll typically bob.
Yeah, this one bobbed for 700 yards down the river, and then a cop found it.
Problem is they bob, but it's not necessarily true that their mouth is going to be able to not be in the water.
Yeah,
breathing oxygen.
Right.
So they'll bob, they'll float like a cork.
Yeah.
But
and this one did for 700 yards, and then a cop found it, pulled it out of the water, resuscitation, and they were doing something else. There were 2 cops working on it, and they got it back to life. Yeah. And the idiot that chucked it off the bridge lived as well, unfortunately.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. Can't all have great endings. So okay, E, you ready for your Ask E question?
Now listen, this is your segment, so please listen. So
I'll go put my laptop down
okay,
here.
good, yeah. Get your grinder off of there.
Dear E, I recently invited an acquaintance, we'll call him Al, to a TV sports viewing party. He brought his friend Ed to join us. Al and Ed have known each other their entire lives, but I had never met Ed before. They are both 70 years old. After the game ended, we 3 were talking when Ed suddenly said to me, "So what are we going to do now? Make love?" Then a few minutes later, he said, "When I'm driving my car, you can pay off a bet." In other words, like give him a beeger.
Right.
I had not made any sports bets with him. He was alluding to a sex act. Al did not hear the crass questions. I ignored Ed's offensive behavior. Both Al and I are decent, kind, and considerate people. I was dressed conservatively in sports attire.
Who are these old people? What sporting event are they watching that the old bags are getting ready to
Super Bowl? Who knows?
Probably friggin' the badminton tournament or something.
Lay off the shuttlecockery.
Oh, sorry.
We were kind and welcoming to Ed. All of my friends are well-mannered and courteous. Ed's offensive remarks were negative and insulting. He did not drink alcohol and no drugs were present. So what gives? I told Al about this, and he did not know why Ed acted so offensively. What could I have said to Ed to fend off both remarks? Also, I do not trust Ed, and he knows where I live. What can I do proactively to protect myself?
Oh, come on. I wish we knew how old this other bag is.
She's probably 70 as well.
I don't know, man. Just stop being a bitch. Like, who cares? Just kind of go ha 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 and let him go. As if at 70, Ed's gonna show up at your house one day and be like, "Hey, what about that blowjob?"
I mean, really, if that was the worst of it, like after the game, he's like, "So, what are we gonna do now? Make love?" Ed sounds like a party. I like it.
He's a dirty old man.
Yeah.
I'd love to hang out with Ed.
Yeah, I kind of want to hang out with Ed too. I wish they'd give his last name. We could find Ed. Ed sounds like fun. Her advice was to say, "Excuse me, what did you say to me?" Takes extreme offense at it. And then if he says anything worse or anything else, you say, "I don't like it, not at all." Then you stand up and leave his presence.
Her advice was to have zero sense of humor.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
also good news that this will come 2 weeks later or a month later after the incident. So good thing she has a comeback 2 months later.
She put a message in a bottle here and sent it out for a reply.
just in case this exact same situation comes up.
And the 1 in a million off chance that someone reads it and posts it in a paper somewhere.
Then she'll know what to do.
Right.
That's great.
She's just waiting now, probably never having people over for the game anymore just because she doesn't know what to do. What if this happens again?
That happened in 1984. She's been dead for 12 years.
Waiting for that response.
She died never knowing how to respond to Ed.
It's funny, this idea that you're asking for advice. Jeez.
Send it into a newspaper. It's getting published years, maybe months or years later.
The postal service, like, and I'm
gonna fire off a letter. I know what to do.
I always wonder, do they tell them? It's like I doubt they inform you. Hey, your ask so and so is in the mail. Is in the
no, it just gets buried.
So they don't. So then you just send it. You look at it every day for years, going, "Well, what?"
And they probably think your scenario sucks, so they tweak it a little bit. Take a little, editorial, what do you call it?
Liberties, if you
some
will.
Liberties to your story. And so it ends up coming back like, that's not really what
sort of sounds like what I wrote.
Can I apply that to what really happened to me?
I want to see this whole situation, to me, by the way. A situation where these 7-year-olds are getting ready to watch the game. And she's been friends with this guy long enough, but he just brings another buddy over, another 7-year-old
He acts like 70 is just so ancient. I mean, dude, it's not that far away from where you are, man.
It's a long way away.
What's your dad? Probably like upper
59.
50s. Yeah. Okay. So give him 10 years and he's hanging out with his buddy Ed watching the Masters.
Imagine the kind of comments you're going to make to people in 40 years.
I can't wait. If I make it that long, I can't wait. Like, I'm excited for it if I make it that far.
Imagine like the letters to the editor that would be written in 40 years time.
Well,
this guy came to my house and said, my anal hymen is still intact. Some chick's horrified. I lost my anal hymen on a race in Vegas.
Yeah,
many years ago.
People don't tend to, sometimes when I go to like gatherings, like I was at a bonfire on Saturday, like
a bonfire,
there'll be people, there's clearly usually a situation where some people either really enjoy me or some people really fucking hate me.
What a shot.
and the people that hate me fucking hate me.
Yeah.
Dude, the Detroit cast will probably end within the next 6 months, would be like, he'll be going on in 50 years going, there was a time. There was this guy, Jay. He was so awesome. Jay was my best friend. He was the bestest friend I ever had. I used to look up at the moon and wonder if Jay was looking at it too.
You know,
he'll be boring people, fucking 70-year-olds forever.
Jay, right. We fucking heard about Jay.
Yeah, we all heard about Jay.
That's not the thing I talk about though. Like when it's me, it's just usually me making several sarcastic, immature jokes about sex and stuff. Usually I just sit there like,
don't bring me into that, you son of a bitch.
and by
Jay would never stand for this.
And by the way,
I wonder if Jay's still alive. He probably is. He was always in the best shape of everybody.
By the way, it has become a thing now where when I drive home and park the car at night and walk into the garage, if the moon is visible, I do look at it now and go
and wonder.
I wonder
if Jay's parking the car right now too.
You son of a bitch.
Dude, every time I look at the moon now, I just giggle.
The moon.
I immediately go into E's voice.
I wonder if Jay's looking at this moon right now today too. It's beautiful.
I can't help it. It's ruined the moon. You've ruined the moon for me, E.
I didn't do anything.
Well,
you did it.
You inspired it. You might as well have.
Somebody tweeted a nice picture of the moon. I think night before.
Yeah.
With that. Yeah. I wonder if Jay and E are looking at the moon.
All right, E, you ready for another one?
Sure.
My husband of 34 years,
boring,
had an affair with a coworker. Getting better for you?
Nice.
Lasting for a year. He has had at least one other affair that I know of.
Awesome.
So this guy's got 2 affairs under his belt.
Awesome.
With the aid of a therapist, I confronted him and said,
Jesus Christ.
and he said the whole affair was a terrible idea. Getting strange was a terrible idea.
It's not strange after a year.
That's true. We both agreed it was a terrible idea.
I love when an affair is going on for a year and it's like, oh, I've made mistakes. A mistake. I mean,
about 365 of them.
Right.
And that's not the first time either. And he wanted our marriage to stay together. It was very, very important to him.
For the money.
He agreed to cut communication with the woman. She moved away. A year later, after working hard on my end, yeah, I'm sure he was working his ass off too.
Yeah, he's doing a lot.
We're trying to repair our marriage. I found out that the 2 of them have been having long weekly phone calls that my husband had gone to great lengths to conceal. I said that if he felt compelled to continue the calls, I would leave the marriage.
Oh, whoa.
I will not stand for this for a third time.
Now it's an emotional connection, Mike.
Right. It's one thing to be cheated on once and maybe even twice, but after that,
3 times.
No longer sexual. It's now emotional, and that's what matters to her.
Hey, Jay,
really?
What is it? Fool me once, shame on.
Yep, no, you got it. Finish up.
Twice, we're not going to be fooled again.
Won't be fooled again. I want to go Bushy.
I thought some of the George.
I miss Bushy.
I do too. Son of a bitch. He butchered the language like E.
And he was the president.
I know. He was awesome. Fast forward another year, the calls continued in spite of repeated pledges.
Go spine, you bitch. Just leave him.
Repeated pledges by my husband that they were not occurring. I confronted the Scarlet Woman and told her to cut it out, or I'd spill the beans to her husband. Don't spill the beans.
Oh, spill the beans.
What are you waiting for? It's been going on for a year and a half.
I get more out of the fact that she used to spill the beans. What is she, 10? I'm going to spill the beans.
She did, so she stopped. She did not want any spillage of beans.
Remember that game, Spill the Beans?
No.
Vaguely.
Come on, man.
Vaguely.
Seriously?
Yeah, Spill the Beans. It was awesome. Move on.
What did
you don't remember it?
I don't remember it, but
I don't remember. It's some balancing game.
Yeah,
back
maybe
in
I'd
the
remembered if I
early
saw it.
80s, and you're trying to fill this thing up without spilling the beans.
There it is.
Yeah, I remember it.
I
don't spill the beans.
You're you're trying to balance it, and
I don't remember how it worked, but
God, games sucked.
No.
Look at that thing.
Are you serious? Those games are fun, man.
No, I know, but they just look lame compared to
video games.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that game in my life.
I remember spilling.
I remember Don't Spill the Beans.
That's the one I remember right there. It sort of had a kettle, and it tipped back and forth. That's the version I remember.
It was like you had to put one in, then they had to put one in, and you right.
Yeah,
and then,
but there's got to be more than that. There had to be
not
an
necessarily.
object. No, there had to be an object. Like I don't know.
I think that was the object.
Remember Break the Ice?
Oh yeah,
yeah, I do.
remember
Or Icebreaker. Don't break the ice.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I still
that was cool.
That was cool.
I still, and this is everyone that ever saw these and remembers the game would know it's. I'm not saying anything new, but I still can't believe that game, Mr. Bucket, that they had a commercial where the freaking commercial would be like, Mr. Bucket, the balls pop out of my mouth. Like, do you remember that?
No.
You remember Mr. Bucket? You probably remember Mr. Bucket, don't you?
I don't remember Mr.
It'd be like,
Bucket.
the balls pop out of my mouth. I'm Mr. Bucket. That was the fucking commercial. Mickey remembers Mr. Here we go. Like,
Post your balls in my top, I'm Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth, they go pop. The first to get their balls into Mr. Bucket wins, but look out! I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run. I'm Mr. Bucket. Mr. Bucket from Milton Bradley.
I didn't hear the balls come out of
swear,
my
Mick,
mouth.
don't you remember? I swear to God, it said.
Does he say it right at the beginning? It's in the first stanza.
Post your balls in my top, I'm Mr. Bucket.
Put your balls on my tongue.
The first to get their balls into Mr. Bucket wins, but look out! I'm Mr. Bucket. We're all gonna run. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Mike, any recollection, Mr. Bucket? I have zero.
And
I think that's our age group.
I swear to God, there was one where it very
would
more
make
clearly
sense.
said the balls pop out of my mouth. Like, I
They
swear.
definitely do.
Yeah, they
'Cause
definitely
that
do.
was the object of the game. You had to put them in the top and then.
It was basically like kids beer pong, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Before he ejects them all, you have to get them all in there.
There was, I don't
Something like that.
really remember exact. I just know you put them in there and they popped out of his mouth, the balls.
Anyway, back to our
Okay, sorry.
ASCII. Sorry.
sorry.
So she said she was going to spill the beans to the husband,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
she backed off. This
By the way,
Scarlet Woman backed
I'm
off.
sorry I keep butting in, but there's already enough in this. And then she also wrote, like, she's going to therapy to figure out how to do it. She's dealt with the lady, telling her, hey, if you want me to spill the beans to your husband.
Yeah.
And wherever this leads, she still had decided it isn't solved yet, that she had the right to the newspaper.
I know. Here's the problem. My husband has never apologized for his actions. He says if he is a warm and loving, if he is warm and loving, that should be enough for me, and I should get over these events.
I gotta respect this dude.
My husband is
kidding,
pleasant
man.
enough, but hardly warm and loving. He continues to have several phone numbers and several email addresses in his name. I'm not accusing him of romancing women, but I feel insecure. If I try to bring up our relationship, my husband refuses to talk because he says all I do is tell him that he is a horrible person. That's not true. He refuses to talk with a therapist.
Oh my God.
This guy is like, yeah, bitch, here's the deal. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, and you can, like, deal with that shit. How about that?
Right. That's
Enjoy
pretty
your
much-
meetings with a therapist and shit. I'll be over here with some secret emails and phone numbers.
Yeah. So what's the question here, by the way? Hey,
Is there any hope here? She's saddened. This is saddened.
What do you got, E? Give her hope. Come on, E.
no. You idiot. Like, you're married to a pig, you moron. Like,
But it's her pig, E. It's her
I
pig.
gotta be honest.
34 years into this, E.
This isn't even his fault at this point. I mean, like, it's not. You cheat on a girl a few times. You're an ass about it. You're clearly showing no remorse. You need to break up with him. Oh, but
You need to break up with him. Just break up with him.
divorce him. Take his money from him, you idiot.
Yeah, I can't imagine Gab putting up with anything like
Yeah.
that. The behaviors.
No.
One time, to be honest, we all know it. Like, one time. Trust
Do you think
is
it's legitimate
everything.
to give someone a pass for the one time? Does anybody go, boys will be boys? You know, what are you gonna do?
Not really.
He did
No.
it once, or do you think that's a deal breaker? I would think every time you looked at that person, you just go,
Right.
"Fuck you,
Yeah,
man!"
yeah.
Like every
It'd be really hard
time.
not to.
Yeah.
Well, and then you always know it's no matter how strong, whatever you are, no matter what you got going on, you're never gonna trust someone. Trust is never gonna be there again. I don't know how it could ever be. Anytime they talk to a guy, or a girl within his case, every time you go on a business meeting or
that's no way to live. That'd be awful.
Yeah, it'd be a terrible way.
And the problem is this isn't just one slip up. It's for a year and it's several.
Oh, this
girls.
guy's just a fucking dickhead. He doesn't give a shit at all.
Right. And he doesn't.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Her advice was, I do have hope, mainly for you. Your marriage, not so much. Your husband seems determined to deny you the healing and intimacy you desire. Catching him again, being proactive and driving off his mistress are pretty exhausting. You're expending all the effort to keep your marriage going. He is passively letting you. Pleasant enough isn't a very high standard in a spouse. So anyway, you need to value yourself more. Yeah, basically what he said. What?
It didn't seem like she still was forward enough in that response. I think that the response was still kind of like, how does she not flat out just say, look at, you need to,
you're being played. Get the fuck out.
Dependency, settling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're that far in. It's like, fuck, how am I ever going to find anybody else? It's, maybe you won't live on your own.
Yeah.
Right. Becoming your own person, maybe. How about that?
Would be hard.
Yeah.
I can totally, you're 34 years in.
So when
that
they
means
get married,
if you got married
60.
at 20, she's probably closing in on 60, if not older than that.
Yeah,
So,
to unravel everything at that point would be tough.
But you know what, though? The other option is you go through the rest of your life miserable. Is it going to be more miserable having to start over and maybe have a chance at having some fun and enjoyment, or dealing with this the rest of your life?
Yeah, there's probably a lot of married couples that get that
Hell
far
yeah,
down
there are.
and it's like, really can't stand you anymore. We're just coexisting, right?
Jay, that's why I'm not married.
Yeah.
Well, do you think there's anything
that's
like
why, huh?
Yeah.
Well, same-sex marriage is going to be,
it'll be legal soon everywhere. Do you think there's anything to like her going, okay, how much longer can he really be playing the field? I mean, he's 60, he could be older.
But so
if I ride this out for a couple more years, let him get it out of his system.
Yeah, but what she
and then
found
I've
was
got my companion at least.
No, she doesn't have that because she cut off the physical thing. She moved away, and what she saw was the emotional connection. That probably bothers her more, Mike.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't you figure she'll get her emotional connection back? No.
I think it's just done. They're just coexisting.
Yeah.
No, that's no offense, but I think that sounds retarded. The idea of like, maybe I'll just let him go for 5 more years and then boys will be boys and
that's the type of shit that goes through their heads though, right?
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
I get it, but I think that's retarded.
Of course it is, yeah.
And then we got one more of them, and I have a feeling that they finally got to your letter. The letter you put in a bottle and shipped off.
They found the bottle.
It finally arrived from the Lakeland class of 2003, is it?
Yeah.
It finally arrived, and they've addressed it. And
that bottle of anal lube showed up on their shore.
Well, I hope
with E's letter tucked inside,
crumpled up and misspelled.
I hope that it can still help me then.
Dear Amy, I just started school again and it sucks already. I don't really have any friends and my classes are boring. I'm so stressed, not just because of school, but other things also. My favorite class so far is English. It's interesting. I have a really wonderful imagination, so I think I want to be a writer. But I'm horrible at putting my imagination on paper. Can you suggest a way for me to be a wonderful writer one day?
Does sound like
something
I would write.
Spent more time in the outside the math room,
more time
learning
in
the English language.
That kind of does sound like me a little bit. I don't know what you want from me on this.
Advice.
What am I supposed to tell this kid?
To yourself.
How to get more creative on paper?
Yeah. He doesn't know yet.
I don't.
Yeah, it's no
fucking know. Maybe do some drugs.
She said, you can be a wonderful writer, E, if you want to. The way to do this is to start to write down stories about your own life and experiences. You should ask your teacher for recommendations for books to read that will fire your imagination. Ugh. Sounds like shitty advice.
Did you hear my advice, Mike?
What?
Start taking some drugs.
Yeah, that would help.
That opens up the mind.
Sure. Homer drop. Is that a Homer drop?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it is, but I didn't. If it is,
expand your mind.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Square, expand your mind.
Nerd.
What do we got for email, Jay?
Yes, we do have some email, Mike.
What do we got?
Tim writes in: if Big E was caught doing lewd acts with his boyfriend in public, would he first call his daddy, or Jay to get him out of jail?
Jay.
Would it sound something like this? Jay, I was making out with my boyfriend in my car after a sweeparoo of the back seat, and now this police officer wants my ID. Will you talk to him, Jay? I'll put you on speaker. Is that how it would go?
Yeah, and I'm calling Jay before my dad.
Yeah, that would be an awkward call with your dad.
Yeah. You know what? My phone's on vibrate all night long, so I'm not going to hear it.
Gotcha.
So
Ever.
I'll get to it in the morning if I get to it.
Gotcha.
Different Tim writes in. Greetings, noble Esquire. It's me, Officer Walters, and the coke spraying fuckface.
All right.
Is that Mike?
While listening to Eric's story about how he and his buddy acted like 13-year-olds off their Ritalin when staying at a hotel over the weekend, I was amazed to hear his complete lack of responsibility for the situation. I wasn't. No, that's the MO.
Expected.
That's how he goes, man.
Yeah.
I want to go on record and say that while I do agree that the hotel is trying to overcharge for the damages, responsibility still needs to be taken for the actions of said event. By the way, what are we down to? You were down to like 550?
It was less than, we got just more than half of what it was originally. So it was like 1,100. So it's
550,
around 500.
Okay.
You should just send them like a case of like Tide Pods and say, this is my final offer.
You should have done what Nina said. You should have left them a fucking tip and this wouldn't be a problem.
I just didn't
should have left them $50.
Well, what happened?
Yeah.
Well,
that's true.
Now, the real reason for my email is to share a story about how I destroyed a hotel room after contracting a norovirus while in San Francisco for a business trip. On my second day in town, I was returning from Fisherman's Wharf when I began to feel ill. After barely making it to a public restroom, I decided it would be best if I headed back to the hotel. As luck would have it, the only option to get back didn't involve having to wait for a bus or taxi. It was one of the historic cable cars. As I boarded the cable car, I quickly realized there wasn't an open seat to be had, which means I would have to hold on to the handle while standing on the outside running boards. We can all picture that. The San Francisco treat rice-a-roni commercial. Yep. We've all seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am hanging. Here I am hanging off the side of the cable car as it goes up and down the hills while desperately trying to clutch my mud.
Oh no! Is this a guy or a girl?
It's a dude.
Oh, okay.
It's Tim. About half a mile from my hotel, my efforts failed, resulting in me ruining a good pair of pants. As soon as the cable car stopped in front of my hotel, I jumped off and ran through the hotel with evident shit stains on my pants and up the elevator and into my room.
God.
Once in the room, I went in the bathroom for what turned out to be almost 3 hours with little to no control of my bodily function. It was literally like a fire hose out of both ends initially, but fortunately it slowed up. Once the worst was over and I was able to assess what had happened, I was horrified to see that almost the entire floor was covered, as was the toilet side of the bathtub and a good section of the wall directly across from the toilet.
Oh my God.
So he's sitting on the toilet. It's coming out that end. He's just puking everywhere.
Oh.
Not wanting to leave this mess for the maid, I cleaned myself up and went across the street to a Walgreens and purchased a bottle of disinfectant cleaner and 3 cheap commemorative San Francisco t-shirts to use as rags. I spent over an hour cleaning up that mess. I'm sure I could have called down to the front desk, explained what had happened, and they would have cleaned it up for me, but I believe in being responsible for my actions.
Ooh.
I would think that as Zot Ford's best mopper, Big E would have some compassion for his fellow custodial brethren, but I guess not.
That's a good point.
I hope that karma comes back to bite Eric.
Trust me, it already has several times already. Kidding
he
me?
is one day faced with a lengthy cleanup of Nana after her Depends fail, and the stinksing shit cascades down the dining room couch, down the plastic on the couch. Can you imagine?
Oh God.
Keep up the great work and goodbye, BUI Tim.
You know what boggles my mind is this idea of like, I hope karma comes back. What am I doing that karma's been so good to me? I got laid 2 times last year. I live at home. I drive a shitty car. Like, what am I just living?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're living the dream.
Yeah. Remember when we talked about the baby without the nose a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Little baby Voldemort. He's cute as a button.
Yeah.
No, he was. He was cute.
I've seen cuter buttons. I got to be honest
Little
with you.
Voldemort will grow up to
Cuter
be just
buttons.
a fine, upstanding young man.
I've seen cuter pandas and buttons.
Pandas suck. Stephen writes in, greetings, Jim Jones, Saul Goodman, and your autistic floor mopping waste of oxygen, man-child Wookiee sidekick. I got Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
Hey, at least the sidekick part wasn't that bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Better than usual.
A few weeks back, I was bumming around Novi and accidentally bumped into a female that was taking up a little bit too much space in the aisle of the store we were in. I started to say, I'm sorry about that, when she turned to face me and I saw she had no nose.
Ooh.
like she had never had a nose. You could literally see right up into her sinus cavities.
Oh,
to further make it difficult from screaming in abject horror or laughing out loud, where the universe decided to rob her of her schnoz, it rewarded her with an extra chromosome. Yep, I believe I have had a physical encounter with the only noseless 50-something retard in the history of mankind.
Wow.
Her very elderly mother was trying to keep the photo ruiner in check, but kept getting tangled up in the nasal cannula of the oxygen tank she was lugging around with her.
Oh,
so some mongoloids lived to be that old. Remember, we were wondering.
Yeah.
Never see any mongoloids over 50. Really,
I thought they topped out at 30.
Yeah. Even it just kind of ran out of gas. Even without a nose, I think this may have been akin to a unicorn sighting. It haunts my dreams. Goodbye, winky face.
What a scene!
Wow, that's from Steven.
I would put a fake one on or something.
Guy
tape one on.
Guy sending a winky face.
Oh boy. Yeah, I know that was.
I assumed it was a.
Could do without that.
Could, but I was going to read it as written.
All right.
All right. Gary writes in, fresh out of college. He's sort of a short story, sort of, kind of. I know.
Enough with the short stories.
You know what? We brought it on ourselves.
I know we did.
And frankly, Mike, I have to be honest with you. We don't have much usable email from today. So you can imagine most of our email was, hey, where the fuck's the show today?
Yeah.
Hey, I can't download the fucking show.
Yeah.
So I could read all those if you want me to.
Where's number 334, guys?
Yeah. But I'll
nice pro establishment you got over there at Radio for One Studios. Fook Faces.
Asshole. No, seriously, love the show, guys. But it doesn't fucking work.
Wish I could listen to it.
Yeah. Gary writes in, hey, look, listen, King. That's me. Chaz and Fook Fase. Sorry. A friend of mine, fresh out of college, got a sales job at a high-end electronics store.
High-end electronics.
So picture this back in like the 80s.
Oh,
you know,
so like
so he's at the gramophone or
Yeah.
Alma's Hi-Fi.
not Radio Shack?
It's like the fucking guy, dude. What was his name in Fast Times who was hitting on Stacy at the pizza joint?
Oh god.
Not
No, dude. The guy
no.
who banged her in the dugout.
Yeah.
God, his
I don't care
name.
if she lays sprays or lays stays or prays.
Damn it,
that
dude.
guy?
No,
Timon.
no,
You talking
no,
about-
dude.
Are you talking about the dorky guy?
No, the
He was
fucking
a
guy. What's his name?
Total
It's a-
player, like business cards.
Yes.
He's working at like the fucking stereos.
Yes, he's a stereo salesman. Remember this? Mickey's got it coming, and it's gonna kill me when I see his name. Ron Johnson, right?
Damn, that sounds right.
Ron
That
Johnson.
sounds right.
The dress code was formal, so he went and bought a really nice suit. So imagine that, right? This is the times we're living in, where we're at a high-end electronics store
And it was a big
in
deal.
a really nice suit,
Yeah.
right? Fresh from the tailor, he put on his new suit and went for his first day with a spring in his step and feeling confident. He walked in the door and noticed that his peers were all very attractive girls, all about the same age as him. He was having a pretty good morning. Sales were going well, and the possibility of a hookup seemed right in line. Lunchtime approached.
Sales were going first day, and he goes, sales were going good, and the possibility of a hookup.
I mean, the guy had it all.
He's got
He
it
had it
going.
all if he could just control his anus.
Oh no.
Just
Oh,
control the
my
anus,
God.
man, and you've got it. Is that Ron Johnson? There he is. Ron Johnson, stereo salesman. He was at lunchtime approached, and he ran out and grabbed some fast food, choked it down, and went right back to work, hoping to not miss out on the sale. About 2 p.m., he feels a tremendous cramp come on. You know the one. That food rental is over and it wants to get out now. So he quickly runs to the back room where there's the typical one-stall bathroom that the entire staff shares. He makes it in time, and once seated, the floodgates open. Being that he does not want to scare off the potential ladies with the odor bomb he just set off, he reaches back and gives the toilet a courtesy flush and goes back to bearing down on round 2. All of a sudden, he feels the back of his legs get wet, looks down and sees that the bowl is overflowing and is now filling the pants and underwear that are resting around his ankles.
No!
So now he's horrified at what he's faced with: brand new suit pants filled with diarrhea and skanky toilet water. How the hell do I get out of this one? He's thinking. Reeling over the possibility of facing any one of these ladies, he quickly steps out of the pants and underwear and runs out the back door to his car and drives off, never to step foot in this place again. He never received a call from them, so he assumes they found his parting gift and came to their own conclusion. So his first job resulted in a net loss of a few $100 as he had no use for a suit jacket with no matching pants. Good times. I say good day, gentlemen. I said good day.
That's
wow.
Awesome. That's a
God,
great story.
Those make, you know, when we told the whatever story, I forgot how it came to it, and I think I told one, and then it was
your sharding story at Starbucks.
Yeah,
dude, and a friend of Mike and I. Okay, this is taking it way over the line. We get a text. Hey guys, I sharded in a movie theater, and we're like, thanks, dude.
Right,
you know,
right.
next thing we know, there's a picture of his friggin' underwear with like green shart stains all over it.
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks,
God.
dude.
God.
We're not even kidding.
Thank you, El Presidente.
But it,
Son of a
that's who that was.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I wonder when you said green.
Yeah.
The
man bleeds and shits
I know,
green.
Jesus, man. God, does he freaking purposely just eat food with green food coloring just so match the suit?
You find it? I don't want to see it again. You
No,
don't need
Jay,
to
what I was
find
going to
it.
say though is like
I know.
when you hear these emails though, it does have comfort in knowing that
Everybody
that there has-
shits.
No, but there's been people with these awkward, like this guy, his first job, and every one of these stories are stories
Yeah.
where it's just like, what do you? And when you're doing it, it's got to be like, what am I gonna fucking do here?
He wrote walking into the theater to watch the new Avengers movie, and I just sharded. I blame your show.
He's a grown man.
Son of a bitch
walking
blames
in-
our show for sharding. We're like, what? We're both looking at it, I'm sure, going, fuck off.
I wrote, only a lawyer could blame others when he shits in his pants. It's TDC's fault. It's the system's fault. It's the racist police fault. It's Whitey's fault. It's the bad school system. It's a crooked justice system. And then he sends this.
The fact that
I don't want to see it.
what about the fact that El?
He gladly
Yeah,
lets
he's
you
like,
see his.
Yeah,
He
that looks
crooked his
familiar.
neck.
What about the
Yeah, he
fact that El Prez is going to see the Avengers movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
He said he's got a picture inside the underwear too. That's probably much worse.
I thought that's what that was. No,
that was
I
on
just-
the outside.
Ugh.
Yeah. Fuck. He's an animal.
Yeah, he is.
Is that
I
it?
Say good day, sir.
You close on that?
We'll save for the rest for tomorrow.
All right. Well, make sure everybody
Amazon. Use our Amazon link, man.
Yeah, use the Amazon
Easy
link.
way to donate to the show. No skin off your back. It's just boom.
Yeah, if you're
Get a
going
little
shopping,
tiny percentage of it.
You already spent Mother's Day is coming up. Jay.
Oh.
They might be buying stuff on for Mother's Day.
Well putty.
that's right.
Do it on Amazon.
You can also hit the donate button if you'd rather just give us money. That will
That's
work
even
too.
easier.
But, cut out the middleman. But yeah, check out the new site. Fool around on it. Have some fun with it, and we'll just know we'll be tweaking as we go along. But yeah, as Jay says, the Amazon link. We want to get people using that. If you're used to going to Amazon like most people are, just make it a habit of going through our site. It'll every little bit helps, right?
And Wednesday night at Bamboozles, 8:00 in Dearborn.
8:00 before the Detroit cast.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that. Okay.
I'm gonna be like up first or something because so I can go over here. So you won't have to stick around for all the shitty comics after me. Although you should.
Yeah. Sure. All right, everybody. Well, have a good day. Sorry for the mix-up this morning. It should be good to go for tomorrow. So we'll see you guys tomorrow with an all-new Wednesday edition of the Detroit Cast.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch you grow.